are now listening to Heresy FM. This ain't your commissar station.
It's been so long.
I know it's been so long, but
we got a special episode today.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the podcast. We have a special episode for you today. This is our season 1 recap and
finale / announce for season 2 /
tier list for
beginning
the
of season 2 /
Yeah.
So this tier list that we're making, is it for like the favorite videos? Like
I was gonna say videos. I was gonna say let's just start out the episode by kind of going through and we'll rank that now that we've kind of covered and kind of gone over each Legion / into chapter warband. What's like our definitive final list about like who's S tier good, love the Legion, shit like that. Who's a D tier, fuck them.
Yeah, because I do have to admit, like, my views on Legions have definitely changed over the past year or so, like, especially since beginning.
Yeah.
So, oh man. Should we do, like, where we were at in the beginning to where we're at now?
Oh, goodness. Like in regards to videos or in regards to...
Like, in regards to Legions?
Oh, yeah.
We can do where we started and where we're at now, like...
Yeah, and out of curiosity, put in the comments real quick if you guys agree, disagree, if we grievously insulted you with our list. Like, let's find out.
Because you got to think, like, over the past year, we've finished ending, like... I've gone through the Horus Heresy beginning to end, gone through the Siege of Terra. I've started working on the 40K books now, fucking digging through them.
Yeah, you've done a hell of a lot more homework than I have.
Stepbro has finally read fucking Flight of the Eisenstein after an entire year of skipping it.
I bought it. I didn't read it yet.
God damn it! I had such
maybe by this time season 2.
It's an audiobook. Just listen to it.
I was reading through Gaunt's Ghost.
It's like one audiobook.
I know, but it's like
just,
I know how it ends though.
It's like, yeah, you know how you knew how the whole Horus Heresy ended.
Fine,
Yeah.
okay, I will give live updates.
Let me look at this because because this can't be more than like what, a 14-hour book.
Okay, for context, for those anybody out of the loop, it's I've gone through the Horus Heresy, but there were very smaller side segments I did just skip because Siege of Terra was coming out. I was like, I want to get to Siege of Terra when the final book comes out, so I followed like a certain
You
path.
skipped a major plot point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I knew what happened.
12 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay, yes.
Not even 12.
But the first book that I ever skipped was Flight of the Eisenstein, and then I didn't skip a book after that for quite some time. It
Battle
wasn't
of the
until,
Abyss?
No, I read Battle for the Abyss.
So you read Battle for the Abyss, but you skipped Flight of the Eisenstein.
The one that you told me to skip.
The entire thing, to a reminder, was because I started the Horus Heresy like back when I was in college, and money sucked. Okay, and all that stuff. I didn't have access to the side ways of listening to audiobooks that are now present. So I was actually just going through Audible. So I got like the first 3. I love them, but then I'm like, man, it's a lot of books. And I'm not sure when I'm going to get to them. So let's see what Flight of the Eisenstein is about. So I watched a recap video. And then at that point, and it was pretty comprehensive. So when I got back into it, I still remember what happened.
Meanwhile.
So I just let's go to the next book. Instead of wasting a credit on that book.
Meanwhile, you know what Groot did? Groot read through Groot did the same thing. Got Audible, got the 1 credit a month. And guess what? He went through all of them, including Flight of the Eisenstein. I skipped the few ones.
You read Battle for the Abyss when you could have just actually skipped that one, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
In hindsight, I agree. Yes, in hindsight, yes. If you haven't gone through Horus Heresy yet, just skip Battle for the Abyss. Personal opinion, it's not worth it.
I even read through the ones that you told me to skip through.
No, you know what?
No.
I'm proud of you, son. Keep it up.
No, don't be a step bro. Read the fucking books.
Like what? Like Nemesis? You didn't read Nemesis?
That was a fucking great book.
I know.
Too.
I'm sure it is.
You didn't read The Outcast Dead?
Yeah.
Another great fucking book.
Outcast Dead was so fucking good.
It was.
What was another one?
I just hate how they did nothing with Babu Dekal for the rest of this fucking.
Yeah, I know, right? And
I
they
did
just
not-
forgot
I
about
did
him.
not
There's a
read
fucking
it.
Thunder Warrior just alive and well on Terra that fucking created a Space Marine, supposedly.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
The two major things I did skip because like I already knew and I didn't really care too much for the Legions was going to be the Path to Heaven and then the Thramas Crusade.
And then what was the other one? There was the one, what was it? The Path to Damnation or whatever? It was the Iron Warriors, the Iron Warriors Salamander. It's one of the Broken Legion books that they say to skip.
I probably skipped that. There was a lot of when all that stuff in the middle while the Horus Heresy was happening. I was very clearly like, I know what legions I like, and also like I'm more than happy to like read a summary or some shit of like these other side stuff. But when it comes to like Imperial Fist, when it comes to a lot of other stuff, I'm down for that. Right? I'll 100% fuck with that.
And whoever puts down that, I can't even remember what the book was called, but it was it's a Shattered Legions book. It's
Yeah.
and everybody's like, oh, it's such a fucking slog. Oh, you don't. It's horrible writing. No, the fuck, it's not. What it is it shows you the split after Isvan. It shows you, the difference that's starting to happen between the Salamanders and the Iron Warriors, because they're basically by this point two halves of the same whole.
Yeah.
Two sides of the same coin. One clings on to hope, one says, "Oh fuck it, our Primarch's dead. There's nothing we can do. We're just gonna fucking suicide it."
Yeah. Okay. Well, true. That's kind of caught up on that. So let's get on with the tier list. So, the tier list, in my opinion, should encompass maybe like 30K up to kind of what we discussed in 40K, and where we think as a Legion, right? Whether it's they're so bad they're good, or whether they're just the best heroes of all time. That's going to be maybe around like S tier, right?
There's gonna be some
Like they're vital. They're absolute vital. A is like, hey, they're amazing. We like them, but they got a few things holding them back. B tier's like, yeah, in the middle, right? So like we like them, we can like them, but we don't like them at the same time. C tier is underperforming. They have their moments, but underperforming, so to say. And D tier is just fuck this Legion, right? Maybe they have like one or two moments, but
Put the word bearer straight at D.
Can I just go ahead and put word bearers right there?
we'll get to them. We'll get to them.
They really belong. They really do belong in their own category, because I mean,
Yes and no. There's some contention.
That's really, but they're really like the one you either.
I'll make my
love
case.
the
I'll make
word-
my case when we get to it. Okay, let's start out in the beginning, right?
Okay,
Okay, let's start out.
Dark Angels.
Dark Angels. Oh goodness, I got complex thoughts about Dark Angels.
Okay.
So, how has Dark Angels changed for you guys after we just? That was our first episode.
Well, the Lion's a gay poet.
No, he's not. That's
So
debunked.
starting off,
Calm down, Wes Hammer. Calm down. That's been debunked.
so starting off, if we're just going Horus Heresy and all this, starting off at the very beginning, Dark Angels started off real strong, and then they kind of just died off. They showed back up for Unremembered Empire and all that, and like obviously making it, but to me they just weren't. They weren't a legion that really did much.
Yeah.
Like they did their thing for the Horus Heresy. Were they helpful for the Horus Heresy? No, they ended up being more of a hindrance than a help. Really,
Spicy.
Yeah. I mean, they were part of the Rangdan Xenocides and shit, but they really didn't do anything
except for
they were
give
just getting
Perturabo fucking siege engines that were fucking fundamental for the Siege of Terra.
Well, the biggest thing about Dark Angels, in my opinion, right now, is that like you're entirely correct, because the heresy, for the most part, with them was they're doing basically their own shit, right?
Yeah.
So
and then they're having their own little fucking civil war within the Legion.
yeah, and there was a lot of, but also there was a lot of good characters. It sets up for 40K, and whether I'm not a huge fan of this, but it is what it is. We're basically Siege of Terra. They send like 10,000 Marines or some shit.
Oh yeah,
to
they
Terra,
did. Okay, yeah,
and they're
with
responsible for
Course
holding
Lane.
the Astronomicon. Yeah.
Okay.
So they are the reason why the Astronomicon
so they did.
didn't
Yeah,
fall.
they were. I forgot about that. I forgot about Corswain and them holding off the Death Guard at the fucking Astronomicon. So you're right there.
Yeah. So I don't want to give them too much credit, but they definitely aren't like too.
So what you think, like
low.
B tier, C tier, maybe B,
guess
like
I
bottom
would-
B,
I would say-
top C?
I don't know,
I'm
see,
very heavily biased.
I'm almost ventured to put Dark Angels almost to a low A to a high B. This is for me. I like because I've always liked the aesthetic of Dark Angels.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been the player base that has turned me off of them. The books that I've read they've all been, you know, pretty decent. I've never had a complaint whenever I've read a Dark Angel book. I'd put them at B.
Yeah, I think B. They're pretty. They do a lot of great stuff whenever it comes to the Horus Heresy, but also I feel like just the siege cannons by themselves, that entire incident with Perturaba, that bumped them down from like the good tier.
I mean, you can't
also
really blame
he'll get a
him too
vote for
much.
War Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really can't blame him too much because he didn't know what was going on.
Now the reason
I mean,
I'm not
true.
Now the reason I'm not putting them down to like C class is because in 40K, now that the Lion has come back, Lion is fucking fist fucking Imperial Nihilist right now. Just he is a bro. While Gilliman's over here fucking sipping tea and fucking you know, spearheading Indomitus and, you know, sitting all there, ooh, or, you know, fuck Gilliman.
Yeah.
Fucking Lion has his fucking bare-chested shirt off, fucking beating the shit out of fucking Chaos over an Imperium Nihilist, just face fucking everybody.
Okay.
I mean, he face fucked Demon Primarch Angron. So
Interesting. Yeah.
True.
I didn't know the plot armor extended to the Dark Angels as well.
oh my god, you're just gonna have to accept one day that fucking Angron just keeps getting dunked on.
Hate to say it.
Well, yeah, because, you know, look who's doing the writing. Fucking GW.
Everybody's doing the writing. Gav Thorpe's doing the writing. Fucking Dan Abnett's doing the writing. ADB's doing the writing.
Doesn't mean that a lot of them are doing anything all that well. You give ADB some fucking chaos shit to write, then yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna be fucking dope shit.
It was dope watching it.
Yeah, it's Dark Angels. Yeah.
Dark Angels. Anyways, all right, Second Legion. What do you think about the
There's
Second
no
Legion?
Second Legion.
There is a Second Legion.
Well, there's in the
Dead.
order we do it in, it's yeah.
Second Legion dead. Non-existent.
Wow, that's
Space
great.
Wolves
That's
1.
great. Yeah, there we go.
Space Wolves 1, Second Legion 0.
All right, but
All right,
summarize.
Third Legion.
Dark Angels B. They have lore importance. They do cool stuff, but also there's a lot of stuff holding them back. Not the greatest, at least our opinion, right?
Yeah,
Our opinion.
100%.
Yeah,
This is
we're
our
definitely
tier
not.
list.
We've
Fuck you
definitely
guys.
never been Dark Angel fanboys.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So next one, EC. I'm not sure if that's that looks like the Palatine Aquila.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? We'll call it the Palatine Aquila.
Yeah. This will be EC for all intents and
Yes.
purposes.
EC, oh my god. EC's either going A or S for
I
me.
want to say A.
I would give A.
I'd almost give, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Emperor's Children
Even
so
the
much.
fall of Fulgrim was fucking amazingly
Yes.
done.
That's why I want to put him at S tier, because everything about EC was amazingly done.
So in the books, yes, everything was
And
was amazing.
like the only thing to me that drops them is the fact that when the Siege of Terra happened, they just fucked off and did their own thing.
But that was after the Eternity Gate, which was hardcore. I will say they kind of suffer somewhat similar to Dark Angels, where it's like, hey, they aren't the most good. They're not like the most prevalent, right?
Yeah.
They aren't the most active, I would argue, when it comes to what they did in 30K. And of course, 40K, they suffer from Chaos Syndrome, where they kind of like just dip off the face of the fucking earth.
Mhm.
But every time they show up, they steal the scene.
Yes,
Every
and
single
that's
time.
to me that's what puts them. Me, that's what puts them in an S tier. Is even like look at Angel Exterminatus. It was supposed to be a fucking Iron Warriors book, and fucking Fulgrim just steals the whole fucking show.
I just can't. It's got to be A, because like at 40K,
yeah.
now granted they just came back, but if they're also but at least with current lore, stuff like that.
I'm just saying, like,
After Horus Heresy, though, what do they do?
killed a Primarch.
Okay, aside from like Fulgrim and the Scouring, and that was all there because of Gilliman, but also going back again to Fulgrim stealing the scene.
Killed a Primarch. They basically fucking held their own in the fucking Long War.
Yeah, I mean, we're including
They
Bile.
fucking
Yeah,
EC
we're
fucking
including,
held EC fucking held the
Yeah.
goddamn line for the fucking long war. They
Yeah.
were all fucked off, fucking on drugs, experienced sensation and all that, and nobody could touch
Until
them.
Abaddon, they were the ones who were winning the Legion
EC,
Wars.
yeah, EC couldn't be fucking touched. Slanesh was fucking dunking on everybody.
Okay, you know what? I respect it. I think
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
Yes.
fucking
S-tier.
Fulgrim's the only motherfucker to take down not one but two fucking Primarchs.
Yeah.
Even though technically Rubute Gilliman fucking came back, but
Yeah.
he's still got a
Of
kill.
course he did.
Yeah,
That plot
that's-
armor runs deep, son.
Yeah, but every time EC shows up, you're like, you can't help. You look at them like in the writing style. Every time they show up,
Yeah, every
it's
day.
just
Even in what was it? The Thousand Suns book that fucking I think it was A Thousand Suns. No, not A Thousand Suns. It was the one after that. Not Fury of Magnus. Fuck.
Burning Prospero.
No. It was the one where it's the one where fucking Armin goes to find all the pieces of Magnus, but Lucius is with him.
I forget the name of the book.
I can't remember. It's the one where they try to find all the pieces where Magnus splits
Yeah,
up into
it's-
his pieces, but Lucius for whatever fucking reason is hanging out with the Thousand Suns, and Lucius just steals Lucius is one of my favorite characters in the Horus Heresy, and he just steals the
He
whole
sealed the
book.
show.
Every time he shows up, I'm like, I was here we go.
Yeah, so I think S tier. Even whenever it's not like a Primarch level character, they got so many other characters that just
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Eidolon, fucking
Eidolon, Lucius,
Lucius,
Bile by himself.
Bile.
Yeah.
Bile by himself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. S tier for
Pretty
sure.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
we're
Mark.
on to. We can skip the next one.
Iron Warriors.
White Scars. That's right.
So, see,
Iron
this is
Warriors.
hard.
There's as the Imperial Fist.
I would
have to
put-
say there's only one category that the Iron Warriors belong in.
D.
No. And I'm saying this, I because honest to God, they do. It has to be S. There is no way they're not S. And I'm saying this as somebody who despises Iron Warriors. They are S.
I can see where you're coming from with this because of if not for anything but two things, it's the Debunculaba. That takes some thinking.
Yeah, the most infamous story in
Yeah.
40K.
But also
Was created
the
by an
Iron
Iron
Cage.
Warriors warp man.
Yeah, that never happened.
I'm
Fake
sorry,
news, fake news.
I'm sorry, but that right there to be able to entrap the entire fucking legion, almost the entire fucking legion of the Imperial Fists, and
We knew it was suicide. Don't worry about it.
and almost decimate like that takes a lot of fucking planning. That takes a lot of thinking. That takes a lot of ingenuity.
Yeah, I will say that is kind of like a folly with you guys.
Yeah.
It's a trap. I know it's a trap. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
go
do
in the
it
trap
anyways.
anyways.
We're gonna walk into the explosive tripwire just because, like, fuck that tripwire, bro. But yeah, no, it was Demon Kalaba, it was Iron Cage, the fucking Angel Exterminatus, the scene of smashing Fulgrim's head into the Titan, and that entire book again, like you were
Fucking,
saying.
I
Fulgrim
mean,
kinda
once
succeeds,
again-
but also
Once again, Perturabo did dunk on Angron too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Perturabo fucking beat Angron out of sure fucking will.
you would not
like,
have Horus Heresy without Perturabo.
Yeah, this is true.
you wouldn't have had the
Yeah.
siege at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at all.
the siege wouldn't
There'd be no
happen without
siege.
Perturabo.
Yeah. At the very least, Iron Warriors go A tier.
I'm still voting
I'm
S. It's got to be S. Like one of those things where like S tier is like if they are not in Warhammer, you don't have Warhammer. Is like my opinion right now of S tier. And you
Okay.
cannot the events not only do like the actual events of Warhammer just straight up not happen without Iron Warriors.
Not to mention the coldest exit out of the fucking Horus Heresy.
Yeah, also that.
Just
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
shit
I'm done.
changes on the screen. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Leave Stera.
Yeah.
So I'm voting
Yeah.
S.
Okay. I mean, you
I
have
hate it.
you have a very valid point. In the fact that there would be no siege and no fucking heresy without Perturabo.
Yeah.
So, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I
Go
can
S.
I can definitely agree. I was gonna put them like maybe A tier.
I would say A tier for sure. I don't know. S tier seems a little, but Step Bro
But
did
yeah,
make a good
yeah,
point,
with
like,
you don't have the Horus Heresy or 40K.
Yeah. an important thing to also clarify, at least in my ranking.
Sorry, I didn't use my coaster.
An important thing to clarify, at least in my opinion, about the rankings also is there is a very clear difference between characters being written poorly versus being written as poorly mannered characters, right?
Yeah.
Perturabo is a salty ass motherfucking bitch. That's like Cordio's character, essentially.
But he's not a poorly written
yeah,
character.
but he's not
That's
a poorly
his
written character. He's written that way, and that's good because that actually gives him depth. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So I mean, as much of a whiny bitch as he is, he put in work.
Whereas to me, 30K Lion is almost a poorly written character.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
To me, he's almost like the. Oh, I like you, but I don't like you. I like you, but I don't like you.
Yeah, where it
Everybody's
feels
against me, and I mean it. I get that
the-
he's supposed to be paranoid, but he's like it's a weird kind of paranoid. It's like instead of him having an on and off switch for his fucking paranoid, it's like a dimmer,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like he's always paranoid, but there are levels to his paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also it feels like Perturabo as a character is like more well and cohesively written than the Lion, because the Lion, the siege cannon stuff. I mean, Dark Angel fans are right that that is a bit like weird for everything you know about the Lion's character to do that, and then he acts a little bit different
Yeah.
the rest of the fucking time.
Yeah, for me,
you basically have
because
you
see,
know,
to me, the line giving Perturabo the siege engines was like the weirdest.
it made
I
no
was-
sense with his character, but I'm still going to count it because that's in the book. That's
Yeah.
canon, yeah.
Like he offer a vote. Like
Yeah, offer a new vote to War Master, which
yeah.
The actual autistic Primarch doing that ain't happening, Chief.
I mean, can you imagine whenever he looked and fucking the Horus Heresy happened, he's like, huh. So Dad,
We're not going to talk about that.
so Dad, I guess we're not gonna do this new vote, huh?
Mm.
Is there not gonna be a second vote?
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave Perturabo though. I gave Perturabo those.
No.
Hey, those look familiar. Oh shit. All right. So, to everyone's surprise, Iron Warriors are S tier.
Right.
Yeah, that one was kind of a surprise, but I mean, I was gonna rank them high anyways, whether Stepbro fucking liked it or not.
Yeah.
But
That's-
I definitely wasn't expecting him.
I
to
saw
rank
them in
them.
at least B tier.
Yeah, I was expecting to have to argue my point on that one. So, so on to the whites.
On to the White Skurs.
A.
It's A or B.
I'd say A or S.
I would say B only because
White scars were a prevalent part. I mean, they weren't big in the beginning.
they weren't really big throughout the whole fucking heresy, were they? There's really not much with
They
them.
had their moments.
Like when, but that's what I mean. Is they didn't really. They had their moments when they showed up. They fucking showed up, for sure. But they didn't really do anything with like the writers. GW never really did anything with the fucking
I
space.
think a
with
good
the-
way to
with them.
put this is that like whenever it's
They
White
did, though,
Scars,
because you had fucking quite literally Jagatai show up in the middle of a fucking mutiny between a
well, this is what I'm gonna get onto because like the White Scars. Whenever we're talking about the White Scars internally, looking as HR, it's cool as fuck. That's S tier, right? But whenever it comes to the White Scars with other people, excluding a few good moments, it's like, like they were at Siege of Terra, right? They're one of the three
Right.
legions that were there, but they were by far in the back, just kind of there. And yeah, I know the charge on the Lionsgate spaceport and all, and that was a cool moment. It's great.
with
I'm not trying to
fucking
take away.
Rauderon and fucking with Rauderon Jagatai and fucking who was it? Rauderon Jagatai and fucking Valdor.
Yeah.
Just
But,
fucking side by side,
I
just
th-
fucking,
yeah.
oh my
So yeah,
god!
they're great. I'm gonna have a hard time putting almost any of these legions below B tier, truth be told. But
I mean, you
I
had
think A tier. Yeah.
To me, you had that. You had Jagatai show up in the middle of a fucking quite literal White Scars Horus Heresy,
Yeah.
fucking where they were literally one side of loyalist White Scars, one side of fucking heretic White Scars, and they were like, well, we're gonna fucking kill each other. And fucking Jagatai shows up and he's like, bitch, get back over here, you're loyalist. And they were like, oh fuck, all right.
Yeah, but and that's the thing is outside of those few moments, there really wasn't anything else. You know, they didn't
Dunked
really
on
have-
Mortarion twice.
So they really just had like their own internal strife, the Path to Heaven thing with Alpha Legion, and after that it was Terra, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That and fucking Jagatai is the king of clapbacks.
He does do pretty good.
That's how you
I've
know
heard
that
what
wi-
you've done with your Legion. I've heard what you've done with yours.
if Jagatai is the only reason why the White Scars are in a high tier, that says something about the actual Legion.
That's a good point, actually. That's actually a good
Like
point.
if all the
Yeah.
cool ass moments involve Jagatai, then it's not really the White Scars.
But it
it's
wasn't
just
really
Jagatai.
all the cool moments, because there was the one where they were all up, where was it? In fucking low orbit, fucking on the jet bikes, screaming on the fucking, on the, they took down the battle cruiser while they were on jet bikes.
Don't recall that off the top of my head.
It was the one because they were,
I'm sure it
they were on,
happens.
what was it? They were on the bikes, but like it was super dangerous because they were in like low orbit or whatever. And
They're on bikes is super dangerous. You know how little the nerves down.
it's just,
And I think they're good. I think they're by far a underrated Legion. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like I don't. They're
lowest
not. They're not S tier.
lowest I'd go is A tier.
Yeah, I'm fine with
maybe.
A tier. I can
Yeah.
live with A tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can get that.
I think it's mainly is that, and then it's mainly just like the 40K. Actually, taking into account 40K, I want to put in B tier. 40K
Yeah.
with 40K.
Yeah, because
I don't
they
know
don't
much
do
about
shit
40K.
in
Well,
40K.
that's
so-
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're in the webway.
they're not. Well, they do some cool stuff like the entire headhunting, right? They send out headhunters to like
Yeah.
go this Tau VIP kill them, and it's cool.
Oh yeah, the
But it's just
master of the hunt
lack,
or whatever.
the lack of lore prevalence in 40K and like this, and a lot of the codex compliant guys are going to suffer from this.
Yeah.
But it's I just think B tier because they do good in the heresy, but a lot of it's just Jagatai, and then in 40K it's very just meh. And there's no fall of the Legion or the chapter. That's all GW. But
White Star, whenever they have their cool moment, they still have their fucking cool moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They when they have their cool moments, when they show up, they fucking show up for sure.
yeah.
And it usually involves some fucking jet bike fuckery.
hmm Okay, so
All right.
we're okay.
Went to the 4th Legion now.
Now we're on
The 5th.
yeah. Woo. Fucking furries.
Okay, this is gonna
D tier,
surprise you
furries.
guys.
Next question.
Fucking Spurs
No,
Wilfs.
no, this is gonna surprise you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Space Wolves at a B
Yo.
because
Okay.
I'd say B or maybe A. It'd be a high B, but it'd be a very, very low A. They had their moments they had their moments in the space. They had their moments in the Horus Heresy. They still have their moments. They you know they've been a when it's not the Ultramarines, the Space Wolves were the poster boys. But in the Horus Heresy, not a whole lot happened. They had one big moment, well, two big moments. They had the burning of Prospero, and then they had the injuring of Horus.
Yeah.
But looking at it now from maturing over the past year as a
proud of you.
40K player, I love the Space Wolves, but they haven't done a whole lot.
Yeah,
They've done some
Yeah.
cool stuff. They've had really cool moments. But
They've had great B storylines.
yes,
Yes.
they have great B storylines. Nothing that really progresses the lore or does really
I
a
would
whole lot of.
almost
So
because I do want to emphasize just because of something's in like a C or D tier doesn't mean like they're bad or I would say we don't like them.
Yeah.
It's all relative, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would almost
So-
put them down at a C. And this again, that's of no disrespect, but it's just in case when a Space Wolf shows up, you're like, oh, it's going to be fun. But also, GW and Black Library mainly put Space Wolves in to have kind of like to act as a foil to other characters, like
Makes
most
sense.
of the time.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
granted, in 40K, they actually have decent amount of stuff they've done and are doing, right?
Yeah.
Like the entire Fenris, the Dark Angels. I mean, they've done a lot. Actually, yeah, and it'd be B tier.
Now, what do you
Yeah.
think? High B? Like, do you think you put them above White Scars and Dark Angels?
I
Or
would put them above.
I'd-
Yeah, I'll put them above both those. Yeah.
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 I, like I said, high B because like I said, they've done stuff. A lot of stuff people don't agree with the way they've done it. They're Space Wolves. They don't give a fuck about what you think either. But there wasn't as much Space Wolves, especially in the Horus Heresy, that
Yeah.
I would have liked. And whenever they
were-
showed up, they were like secondary characters. It felt
So,
like, unless Lehman Russ was there.
One of the biggest things that I noticed about the Space Wolves that the individual Space Wolf was always
Yeah,
Awesome.
if there's a if they have an actual like Space Wolf character in there,
Yeah.
that's like he seems like he's got a
So,
full name and a
like-
full story and all that,
like
then it's
Battle for
probably
the-
going to be
like Battle for the Abyss, for instance, and shit.
yeah.
You had the one. It's a setup to a fucking dumbass joke and shit. You had a Space Wolf, you had an Ultramarine, and you had a fucking World Eater walk into a bar type shit. But
World Eater says, "What the fuck you doing on my ship?"
yeah, but the Space Wolf in there, like he had his funny moments. He was humorous, and he was an all around pretty fucking decent guy.
There
And
that's the thing I like about him. If you see a Space Wolf, like if they show up in a book, it's almost like what he said. They're either meant to be like a foil for the character, or they're meant for like lighthearted moments, like fucking homeboy Bjarni from the Dawn of Fire series. He had his one little "I'm just following orders" moment, but it was enough that fucking stuck with me, and he stuck in as a fucking character until the Unnumbered Sons ended up going to their, because that's what he was. He was one of the Unnumbered Sons, the first Primaris Marines that woke up, and Gilliman, finally split him up. He became a Space Wolf and found out he wasn't going to Fenris, which is what he had hoped for.
Now, here's one of the things that works against Space Wolves. Why, like, I'm pretty confident not putting them in A tier, is because unless it's like prime Horus Heresy, like they're doing stuff, you're talking about the chapter as a whole or Legion as a whole, all the Space Wolf characters are the same personality.
yeah.
Like you're not going
I can
around.
get
There's not going to be a Space Wolf with like, oh, this is entirely different from the other Space Wolves I've seen. Which obviously there's going to be like, there's going to be so
some
much difference
differences, but
between an Imperial Fist and another Imperial Fist. But then Space Wolves are like the same. It's always the same offbeat, act as the foil in almost all. Whenever you get like I'm not. They're not like generic Space Wolves, but like the more basic appearing in a story Space Wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Their individualism makes them generic.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right, and that's the Space Wolves. We are on to
Esther. I'm just being honest, unbiased,
Yeah,
in my
okay.
zone.
I'm not gonna put. So,
Are we at the 7th Legion already?
Yes,
Yes.
we are. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Imperial Fists.
You're a dick.
Right. I took care of it.
You're a dick. Anyways, it's been the Service Launch Podcast. It's been fun, boys. We're heading out. Okay, so let me make my case. Okay, maybe they aren't S tier, but they are A tier. Okay,
I'd give him an A.
Imperial, yeah,
High B,
they're one
low
of
A,
those that
for
I'd give them an A. The lowest I'd put them as B.
I will say the lowest I would ever put them as a B, and the entire reason is because first off, and I gotta do some explaining because I see this by everybody as Imperial Fist fanboy.
Only
I
thing
gotta
that
go
saves
stick
you
up.
guys, the only thing that saves you guys in 40K is the Black Templars.
Yeah, pretty much. If we're including successors and all this,
if we did, if there were no Black Templars in 40K, you guys would be like a solid C.
Yeah,
here.
you know what? That's fair. And I will say, because you get some of the biggest thing is in 30K, it's the Imperial Fist, which is entirely different because you have that Black Templar, Crimson Fist. As a Legion, Imperial Fist by far have some of the biggest range of any Legion, right? In terms of how they operate, what goes on. Siege of Terror, you had like the more last stand of like Camba Diaz type stuff. I mean, you have Fafnir ran executioner style stuff. You have Sigismund. And they not including the actual like lore importance of everything the Imperial Fist do. You have the point where again, it's you may not like the story, but this is what was written is the entire Battle of Fall where fucking Alexius Pollux is going around and almost kicking Perturaba's fucking ass. I mean, you have an insane amount of stuff coming from the Imperial Fist.
You have Alexis Pollux, Pollux and Barbarous Antioch.
Yeah,
Fucking
you can't forget that.
Yeah, fucking the fact that an Imperial Fist put aside his fucking hate for an entire legion over one battle brother.
Yeah, and then it's like if a Space Wolf character shows up, you know what you're getting. If an Imperial Fist character shows up, you don't know what the fuck you're getting. And that's one of the fun things, aside from the overall core tenet. And there's something where, for the most
I'm
part,
like, I don't know about that because you guys are pretty predictable.
I was about to say, if you have an Imperial Fist showing up, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. You're getting a wall.
You're getting a wall. You're getting a wall. If you get a Black Templar, you know what you. It depends on what's showing up.
That's
If Fafnir
true.
Rand shows up, I know what I'm getting. If Sigismund shows up with the Black Templars, I know what I'm getting. If Camba Diaz showed up, I knew what I was getting.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's roll back to 30K real quick, and then we'll go into 40K.
If Rogel Dorn showed up, I knew what I was getting.
Well, no, we'll get through that.
We're getting a palace built somewhere.
Believe it or not, Rogel Dorn has some of the most significant character development of any of the Primarchs.
He did. I'll give you that.
Heresy. And one of the biggest things is like name a conflict the Imperial Fists have not been a part of. In some like a major one. Most times they're involved.
Plague Wars, Battle for Armageddon.
Okay, there's a few, but I mean, okay, but let's look at it. Obviously, so we have the entirety
Crusade,
the entirety of the Horus Heresy.
Prospero
3 and 5.
Well, there was. I mean, you can technically argue that Fall was kind of related to Isfahan because they were going to.
But they weren't on Isfahan.
They weren't on Isfahan.
Either Isfahan.
What else?
Okay, but you get a very, very wide range of what they do.
The Monkey Lava,
some of the
that
best
was
stuff
saved by an Ultramarine.
Demon, you could argue Iron Warriors are just Chaos Imperial Fists that are salty and little bitches.
I will agree with that
with
that statement.
I thought Imperial Fist couldn't be Chaos.
No, they can.
They can. They're called Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
I will agree with him on that one.
Yeah.
Well, but that's to admit that Iron Warriors you can. That's to admit that fucking Fist can fall to Chaos.
Everybody can fall to Chaos. Well, I ain't gonna be meme about that. It's true. Everybody can fall to Chaos. That's how it fucking goes.
Space Wolves fell to Chaos. At least one chapter of it.
But
that was one chapter, and we don't associate with them. They were actually. It was actually a legion. It was only like a few Space Wolves. It was mostly Horus Heresy. It was mostly Sons of Horus actually.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway. Horus Heresy battle. Now I just blanked on the name. The War of the Beast, right? And then we get in Modern 40K Fall Acadia, right? One of the plot points was basically with the Phalanx, like the biggest fucking warship in goddamn 40K, and who does that belong to? The Imperial Fist. Everything else. So
speaking of which, where is
Fourth Tyrannic War? Phalanx is going and helping with that. Yeah, it's literally Fourth Tyrannic War. Yeah, so it's in the western part of the galaxy.
You would figure Rabute Gilliman would be like.
Could probably use that.
Indomitus Crusade. Come here, buddy.
Oh, no, because you need big battleship for Tyranids.
No,
what would we do? One ship can wipe out an entire Tyranid fleet, and then, like, the biggest thing about Tyranids is, like, if you can get them while they're a fleet before they're on planet, that's... Yeah. But you need a shit ton of firepower to do that.
Well, that's why we have...
Anyway, so I would argue, like, with everything that comes with Imperial Fist...
I'll put him in A.
I'll live with an A. I'll live with an A. Now, I will say, obviously, I'm a fanboy. I'm biased, but they're an A. The sheer amount of stuff you get with an Imperial Fist is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of are like the Swiss Army knife of a fucking...
They are.
Of a Space Marine Legion.
Yeah. Like, you know what you're getting with an Imperial Fist.
You're either getting a last stand, you're getting a sword fighter, you're getting someone super fucked up if it's executed.
Not mention the last ball protocols. Yeah.
That's it. Like, you know what you're getting, but...
Being branded on the ass?
You know what you're getting, but you don't know the outcome.
You're getting the pain glove, son.
Yeah, like you know you're getting a wall, but you don't know if that wall also has a sword.
Do you think? Do you think a fucking Space Marine ever like looked at a pain glove and was like, "I'm gonna stick my dick in it"?
I mean, it's a bodysuit. So technically, dick was in it.
It's a bodysuit.
Yeah,
I thought it was an actual glove.
No, it's like an actual bodysuit.
So they just wear like a gimp suit, and
that's what it's a gimp suit. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure it looks more like a.
You guys get gayer and gayer.
Getting in the gimp suit with my ass tattoo. Yeah, there we go.
Fucking Rogel just standing there in a gimp suit with a cat of nine tails. You don't know the meaning of pain, son.
Be secure in your masculinity a bit to fuck with them, but they're fucking good. But I'll say solid ass A tier.
Sigismund, get the gimp.
If
Sigismund, you will
The
now
only
refer to
time,
me
the
as
only time I
Dominatrix
see them below
Dorn.
A is when somebody just either doesn't give a fuck about them or they
Tommy Dorn.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, you started this. You should have never told us it was a fucking bodysuit.
Sigismund, you've been a bad kid. You made Daddy very angry.
You think it has a tail or
So
something?
you call yourself the Emperor's champion now? You've been a bad boy. Go get Daddy's blanket,
Yeah.
kitten.
But I will agree. Yeah, Imperial Fists in A. It's a good place for them.
Mm,
Right
yes. Okay.
What do we have next?
7, 8. Night Lords. Ugh.
The Night Lords. I have a soft spot for these.
I
fucking
love them.
psychopaths.
I love
Yeah.
them. But looking at it,
I almost have to put them at a C.
yeah, it's either a D or a C. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
There
And I'm
hasn't
saying
been-
that no disrespect. I love them to death.
It's
I have
one
an
of
entire
those-
army.
it's
I have
an-
like
it's-
4,000 points.
It's almost like the Emperor's champion. The Emperor's champion.
Champion. Dominatrix.
Shut up.
Sigismund,
Now can how many this in
activate
for this
last
one?
balls protocol.
Oh shit.
Sig-
Oh,
yeah.
execute cock and ball torture protocol.
So to me, Night Lords are almost like the opposite side of the coin for Emperor's children. They do the same. When they're in a book with another legion, Night Lords steal the fucking show. For the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. Or even if they're in their own thing. And
Yeah,
shit.
if it's a Night Lords book or Night Lords
Yeah.
are with somebody, you know that shit's about to get fucked up and it's about to be they're about
Yeah.
to do it in the most comically evil way ever.
Oh yes, comically being the fucking operative word.
There's
because-
just something about Kurz being on the fucking drop ship and being like, I'm gonna go fucking drop your drop pods onto the
Yeah,
fucking
still
onto the
funny
force
smell.
field of fucking McCrag.
or talking to his brother like, no, I'm gonna blow this fucking place up. Like, no, please don't do that.
I'm gonna
please."
do it.
He's like, too late. I already told Sevatar he got 30 minutes, so you can leave or.
But just
Yeah.
just like in real life, unbridled schizophrenia only gets you so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, but to me, they don't steal the show enough to. Now, if they'd have done more with the Night Lords, I mean, Night Lords is good. Night Lords shows us a lot with what's going on in 40K. I don't think they did enough with Night Lords to
Yeah.
really justify. They're setting up for Night Lords to do some really cool shit, but not enough for me to rank them higher.
Yeah. I would have to put low B, high C for Night Lords.
Yeah, and we're probably gonna get a lot of hate on this from fucking
Yeah.
Night Lords fanboys. So
Yeah,
be prepared for fucking.
I would love to put them up higher, but looking at the grand scheme of things, like after the Horus Heresy, or even during the Horus
Be
Heresy,
prepared for a lot of autistic Batman
Okay,
kids
but
to come after
no
us.
lie. Because I part of the way want to put them in D. I really do.
I'd say
That's just-
I'd
Be-
even
Because if you took the Night Lords and then you entirely remove them from 40K and 30K, what do you have? You still have 30K and 40K.
What?
The Night Lords do not have a significant splash in the universe. And I think they're cool. I love them to death. Again, I fucking love them.
Mm.
But at the end of the day,
they are
like
really more
name
of a ripple.
asides
I think a
from
lot of that could be-
Decimus and Sevatar, name another Night Lords character.
Talos, Uzas.
Oh,
The
aside
Exalted.
from those books, okay, aside from like those two specific stories, like anybody else in like 30K, that's a Night Lord that shows up.
No, the Anointed, whatever his name was.
Again,
you
from
talking
the
about
40K book,
No, that was
Or-
30K.
the Anointed.
No, what was
Oh,
his
no.
name? The Night Lord that dueled Radahan.
That's the one I was thinking about. I'm pretty sure that was the Panic Count.
Oh yeah,
it
that
Panic
was.
Count. So yes, there was one. I was seeing if I'm able to catch on to that. But long story short, I just think like they're cool. Again, aesthetic wise, that the aesthetics and schizophrenia is what they got,
And it
that's
only
cool.
gets you so far.
Yeah, it only gets you
Yeah.
so far. I generally think that they're a D tier just because like they have cool stuff, but everybody has cool stuff.
Yeah, I
Like,
think from
yeah.
a comical standpoint, they're probably fucking. From a comical standpoint, I would put them in B tier, just because
I
some
don't
of
even
the
think
shit
it's enough to give him a
is
B. I'd put
fucking
him
hilarious,
To
dude.
me, that'd put him
that's not
C.
B. I wouldn't. B's max. I would do is like a C.
No, I'm talking about like if we're just comedic value. they have some of the funniest.
If I want
fucking
funny, I'll read
things.
Kaipaskane.
Yeah, but that's not a fucking space marine. He's
I know, but he's still.
well, he's made to be like that. These guys are
If I want-
these guys
if
are
I want-
ironically
if
funny.
I want funny, I'll pull up a Fabius Bile book.
Yeah. Like
Again.
don't get me wrong. There's like plenty of like. There's
I'm
like
not saying to put him in B tier. I'm just saying from a
Oh, okay,
comedic
yeah.
aspect, if we're just going off of just
Yeah,
straight fucking
Just-
Yeah,
I
if we
mean,
were
I'm
just
gonna
going
give
off of the
him
laughs
yeah,
I get
yeah.
off of yeah, they'd be
that's what I
B
mean.
tier for
I don't mean to
laughs.
put him in B tier. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like if we're just talking about jokes and shit, like fucking Night Lords are the funniest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, to me it was almost like they just showed up. They showed up to the Siege of Terra just to get fucking bitch slapped. The most they did in the Siege of Terra was they held Angron on the fucking they held Angron on the Nightfall.
Yeah.
I think it was. Was it Nightfall?
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah, it was the capital. Yeah.
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 So they held Angron on the Nightfall, and the painted count got bitch slapped by fucking Ramadan or whatever the fuck his name is, Radahan.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like, whenever
Radagast.
Black Library needs another CSM involved, where they can almost do a Space Wolf type thing, where it's like, oh, we need somebody who's not the main character's legion to
fucking
show up and do stuff, but they're not going to be important. Who do we choose? It's going to be Night Lords.
Yeah, like in this fucking Indominus Crusade book, the Night Lord showed up, but it wasn't anything special. Night Lords. It was just the Night Lord showed up and got fucked up.
If they progressed like the Talos Decimus plotline,
yes,
that'd be like fucking A tier.
And that's I think a lot of the problem just comes from GW wanting to focus on other shit instead of just like
if we see some shit where like they banner under fucking under Decimus and Decimus gets like a fucking Decimus gets a character model, like Night Lords get their shit back. Then 100% down with it. But I don't think, in all honesty, that doesn't even look like the direction that GW is going.
Yeah, no.
It looks like they're trying to fucking it looks like, simplified, not simple, has now become simple as fuck as we can make it.
Yeah.
Their writing quality has gone down quite a bit.
Well, I mean,
all right, Night
C tier.
Lords.
C.
Yeah, I'd say C.
All right.
Wow, our first C tier.
Yeah.
All right.
Blood Angels.
Blood Angels, S.
No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
What?
No. I would
My brother
A.
in Christ.
A tier.
Yeah, I would put A.
I'd put S tier. They were prevalent. They were prevalent for this. Let me make my argument on this. Anytime that Blood Angels showed up in a book, they were always the prevalent force. Fucking the fucking killing a Cabanda thing, fucking top tier. They had the fucking character development. They've had the fucking everything that you could want. It was almost like Blood Angels were meant to be the poster boys, more than the fucking Ultramarines. Fucking, they were the prevalent force in the Siege of Terra. Fucking next to, I'd even say they were more prevalent than Imperial Fists.
In some capacities, yes.
For the Siege of Terra, they were almost. You had like, to me, you had Imperial Fists and fucking Blood Angels like neck and neck. To me, the Blood Angels just a hair more.
But if you took away Sanguinius and Dorn, is Imperial Fist and Blood Angels fall significantly behind.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Even with Ralderon and Co. Yeah.
No. You have Ralderon, you have fucking the Bringer of Sorrow, you have the fucking Flesh Terror, you have fucking
Who is it? You have Typhus. God damn it! What's his fucking name?
Yeah, and I mean, you have the moments with all three. You have the three separate moments with all three of them holding their shit, and that to me that holds them equal with the Imperial Fists. If not just once again a hair more.
Yeah, even missing Sanguinius, you still have Dante. You still have like
because Sanguinius. Because think about the thing.
I'm swayed. The more I think about it, you're entirely right.
Yeah, that fucking the Siege of Terra was pretty much pretty much a Blood Angel series.
I would
no. You just no. Listen, when I said I agree, I'm in S tier, not this entire Siege of Terra stuff.
I would have to agree at least top of A.
You have the moments at the Eternity Gate. You have the fight between Horus and Sanguinius. Going into 40K, you have Mephiston, you have
Yeah, they're
you have Dante.
Yeah, they have the crazy amount of characters in 30K and 40K. They're all notable. They all do cool stuff. The entire the devastation of Ball for holy fuck.
Devastation of Ball, you have fucking the Lion showing up to Dante now. Dante's now seen 2 fucking alive Primarchs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants to fucking die.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're in S tier.
Yeah,
Because I'm
Blood
fully
Angels
convinced.
to
I'm
me
fully
are
convinced on
S tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it.
And I mean, Blood Angels are stored in the balls. So
Yeah,
True,
Blood
true.
Angels are stored in the balls.
True.
You have the
But do
character
we place
development with
them
the black.
above Iron Warriors and EC? Yeah.
I don't think EC.
Not EC, I'd put them above Iron Warriors.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one was hard. That one was
yeah,
that
hard.
one
that
was a bit more difficult. Okay, easy one. Iron Hands.
D.
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 They haven't done enough with them,
Yep.
and the moments
Yeah,
that
they haven't
the
done
moments that they do have that are cool with them aren't cool enough to really.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this is the same case where it's like, hey, Iron Warriors are cool, and like there's the materials there to do amazing stuff to make them S tier, right? But GW just hasn't done it. So
Yeah.
again, not an insult
Personally,
towards
I
Iron
love
Hands.
I love the Iron Hands. I
Yeah,
love their
they're great.
aesthetic. I
Yeah.
love the everything about them. I love the whole basically I'm so depressed that I'm just gonna replace every bit of my humanity with fucking machine.
Yeah, they're like the one family member you see at family gatherings where like they have potential to like do insanely well stuff, but they're just kind of like they haven't utilized it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them a lot, and they've just been thrown by the wayside.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't really.
Yeah, and the only legacy they carry, if you say Iron Hands, people don't think about lore, they think about 8th edition.
Yeah,
That's to tell you why they're in D tier.
yeah.
Like I
exactly.
hate to say it, but so again, nothing but love, but
All
definitely
right,
D tier.
11th Legion, go.
Word bearers.
Dead.
That guy
Space Wolves
sucked.
2.
Yeah,
Space
hurt.
Wolves 2. Lost Legion 0.
Okay.
All right,
World
the
Eaters.
World Eaters.
D tier.
I really want to put them in A tier.
No.
Can I finish my thought, please?
No.
Because this is
Okay.
hurting me more than it's hurting
everybody
you.
gets everybody
Yeah.
gets their moment. All right,
Yeah.
let's because I'm not because I don't want to put them D, but I'm also not going to put them like
No,
above a B.
I would put them in B for the simple fact that fucking
Mm-hmm.
okay, I would love to put them in A, but that's my personal bias. Fuck, I'd put them in S just because fucking all the shit that fucking. I mean, you want autism? Go to the fucking World Eaters episode that we did. Okay, fucking that's my wee autism.
I love how me and fucking Stepbro thought we were
But-
slogging through that, and that ended
Yeah.
up being one of our more popular episodes. I was like, holy shit, he's just fucking spitting.
Okay,
Owen, man.
so, but yeah, I would have to put them either high C or low B because they're written really fucking well. They really are.
Well, I mean, they only had one way to write them, and
Yeah,
they didn't
But
have to
that's
do
the
much.
thing is, all they really have is 30K. They don't really have anything in 40K.
Here's the entire thing, and this is how I view them, is they have a really good story, right? Because everybody who said like, oh, they could have been so good, they could have been this, that's entirely correct. Because they could have been, it was a very tragic fall.
Yeah.
Out of all the traded Primarchs, Angron is definitely one of the most sympathetic. You feel bad for him. You feel bad for the entire Legion, especially when it comes to like betrayal, like the entire Calth and that storyline.
Right.
But their story's over. We know where they're at, right? The entire story's done. Now they're just the bloodthirsty maniacs in 40K.
Yeah.
Like
And
there's nothing else.
they've
yeah.
been made to be basically one dimensional.
Yes, very much so.
And that's the part that hurts me the most.
Yeah.
It's like fucking because throughout the beginning, even with starting with Angron and his whole fucking story, it's like he just kept getting shit on and kept getting shit on and kept getting shit on. And you really feel for the guy. You're like fuck, man, like he can't catch a fucking break and shit. And then he gets introduced to his Legion, and then his Legion wants nothing but to just be with him, like fucking happy with him, and he's the drunk stepdad who fucking,
I fucking hate you.
Yeah, exactly, you know?
reason me and mom got a
and
divorce.
no matter how much he shits on them, they still are just like, we
Okay,
love
Dad,
you,
we love you.
yeah, we love you, we love you, we love you,
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
You're right,
And-
Dad. I'm a piece of shit. I should have killed myself. You're right.
Yeah, they love him enough to get the butcher's nails fucking installed into them just so they can be like him. It's a fucking very tragic ass story. It really is and shit.
Yeah,
They're,
well,
they're in the
that's one
same
of the-
vein
but-
of Night Lords, whereas like the Night Lords are also very one note for the most part, but at the same time, like the Night Lords technically had / have a story.
Yeah.
World Eaters are done, and I gotta be honest. Listen, I gotta talk about this. I love Latara-san. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Overrated.
What?
Yes.
What?
No, and it's not because I'm not saying overrated like how we've talked. I'm saying it. I saw somebody call this the Bricky effect.
The bricky.
The Bricky effect is like whenever somebody starts getting like way too, it just circulates through like the 40K Warhammer subreddits, shit like that, and just gets overplayed. Like the
Okay.
Krieg, I have a shovel type stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they don't have shovels.
Yeah. Well, they have shovels.
I mean, they have shovels,
Yeah.
but they don't use them as a melee weapon.
Sometimes, yeah. It's a rarer thing that they make
was
it out
like
to
a
be.
it was like a
Yeah.
one video thing where a dude whacked a fucking like a dude with a shovel.
Yeah, like they have shovels and they can use them in combat.
And
but
they were
also,
like,
they're going to use a fucking like chainsword or a maul or some shit before they use a shovel. Yeah.
Yeah, if I have the option between a fucking bayonet that's attached to my rifle or a shovel, I'm
which one you
gonna
choosing?
pick the bayonet.
Yeah. So
How
instead
about
of
putting the bayonet on the shovel?
ooh,
Tactical shovel.
okay,
Yeah.
that might be
Yeah.
A tier. Huh? Sorry. All right, but
Krieg S tier.
yeah. So I'm saying
Yeah.
C. They're in the same vein as Night Lords. We're like, hey, they're great. We love them to death.
I'm
but
putting them
also-
above Night Lords though because there's more to them. There's more character. There's a little bit more character development.
There's a lot more character development than there is with the White Scars. That's why I would put them. I would put them in low B, high C for the simple fact that the White Scars really hadn't had much going for them.
But
would
name me a world eater other than Angron or Karn.
Name you a world eater other than
Yeah.
them.
A prevalent world eater. Someone that you can.
Well, that's the thing is they haven't really been given
Because
the
it-
characters.
Yep.
The characters that
Yeah,
they
I
were
know, yeah,
given.
again,
The
same-
first
yeah.
7 characters they were given were murdered by Angron.
Same.
So there really isn't anyone
I mean,
left.
again, same with Iron Hands. Where it's like, hey, they got potential. We fucking love them, but like end of the day, they're sitting at C tier at the moment.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
even with
And they're
even if
cool.
you
They're
take
fucking great.
Jagatai Khan out, I can still Corsaro Khan, and
Yeah.
or I can fucking you can name whatever you can name. Oh, that other Khan, and there's probably like 3 or 4 more that some White Scars player can be like, oh, there was this Khan, this Khan, this Khan, this Khan, this Khan.
Yeah.
But for World Eaters, I mean, other than Angron and Karn, I can't name anybody. And I mean, you could say Lotara, but Lotara was like literally 2 books out of all of the World Eater books. If that makes sense. She was in
Well,
parts she was in parts of one.
She was also in a bunch of the short stories.
Oh,
That's where a lot of
Honestly,
her
she's made more appearances, but anyways, I think top of C.
top C.
I
I'd
think
say
top
top
C.
C. I'd say that
Top
they,
C with no
as much as it
disrespect
hurts
intended.
me,
Yeah, I
I
know, I'm
have to.
sorry.
I have to.
like I said, it's no fault to theirs because I like World Eaters and I
It's
love
just-
their aesthetic and everything, but they just haven't done anything with them, and
Yeah, and that's a big thing with GW and a lot of these fucking legions is like they could do so much with them, but they focus on stupid shit. So, all right, 13th
Ultramarines,
Legion.
B tier, second place. Next one.
Fucking bro, I would put them just because they're so fucking overrated and they end up winning battles
them
that
in
they
word
should never
bearers.
even.
Put them in
fuck-
word
yeah, I would put them D word bearers. Fucking
I mean, it's a weird thing because on one hand, like the Ultramarines, entirely honest, a lot of the negatives that come from them is because they're oversaturated, right?
They
so
are.
that has to be taken into account.
bro, they have more named
I'd
characters. than
be
But also
willing-
take into account they are in quite literally every single fucking goddamn book in Warhammer.
Mhm.
put them A but below fists.
I want to put them A just because
I
like
would-
there's so much of a
I'd put
balance.
I'd put them A because once again, I have to separate the fact that one, everything you read 40K, 90% of the time is Ultramarines.
Okay.
So once again,
Yeah.
so going back to Step Bro's original, do I have 30K or 40K without Ultramarines? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
But that's,
Without this Indomitus Crusade, without
but that's the
Gilliman,
thing is that we're also talking about GW, and these are the poster boys for GW. So obviously, they're going to make them the highlight, the centerpiece of everything.
Well, I wouldn't include like what I'm just taking basically what's on paper as what's on paper.
Yeah.
Now there's reasons for it, like same with Iron Hands, right? Like Iron Hands are great, but because GW decided we're not going to give them enough story time and not
Yeah.
this stuff, that's why they're kind of a D tier.
Right.
Ultramarines just by the
Ultramarines-
virtue of having enough stories. Yeah,
Ultramarines,
I would put them in B.
Ultramarines, I'd almost
I found B.
Ultramarines, I'd almost venture to put above Imperial Fists, because with an Ultramarine, when an Ultramarine
Watch
character,
your tone.
hold on, because the reason we put them at an A is because they have a lot of shit, and they're almost like that Swiss Army knife. You know, you have the right, you basically have the right Imperial Fist
If they would
for
lose
every job.
if they would lose the battles that they should actually fucking lose, I'd have more respect for the way they were written. But that's my biggest problem with Ultramarines, is that they're always put in some kind of predicament that they should not win at all. And somehow, some way, fucking Jesus, the fucking Emperor himself, fucking comes down and protects them, and the whole battle is turned around. and
Literally
shit.
in Godblight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like,
and Plague Wars.
Well, yeah, Playboy's that.
you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I mean, I get
think-
it, but it's also something but it's also furthered the story. It's
yes, but you
furthered
don't
the
have
plot.
any real character development at that point.
What?
Because if your entire legion,
oh, my brother in Christ,
Bro,
have you
if your
read the
entire
Plague Wars?
legion
You
is a-
have huge character development in
if an
Gilliman.
entire legion is a fucking Mary Sue, you're not gonna have
Not everybody.
No, I will say,
they haven't gone
I will
to
say, in defense of the blueberries, okay, the entire their they have more overall plot armor when it comes to their presence and like the overall battles they've won that may be in a codex or some shit. But when it comes to the actual stories, I would argue that the plot armor is significantly weakened. We're not talking like peak Mad Ward, Ultramarines win these crazy fights where they have zero chance of winning and here's a book about it. It's like, oh, that only really happens in like the codexes and stuff like that anymore. Going back to like, the Plague Wars and stuff like that, because that's like our most recent stuff with them, or the Tyrannic War, right?
Right.
Or Vigilus. Essentially a loss, aside from Deus Ex Machina that saved the day. Loss. I mean, they don't have a good streak right now.
see, and
Yeah.
if they're doing that right
Cadia
now,
is
I can
technically a
respect that.
loss.
Yeah, Katie is technically a loss. Yeah.
I can respect that, because they're not being written as fucking, like a Mary Sue and shit.
Yeah.
Or a Gary Sue.
Yeah, so I mean, now you have, because like I would have done the same thing if I hadn't have read, especially starting in Dawn of Fire and doing the Plague War series, because in 10,000 years, Gilliman has gone through significant amounts of character development.
He shows the character development that the Lion should have had.
Because now you
Yes.
have a dude who started out as for the Emperor, fucking all the things we talked about in the Word Bearers episode. For the Emperor, only the Emperor, Imperial Truth, who has now woken up. The Imperial cult has now essentially taken over the entirety. The Emperor's now deemed a god. There's now an ecclesiarchy that's praising the Emperor. Fucking the Emperor's now a corpse that's sitting on the golden throne. He goes and talks to him. Fucking it's revealed in Godblight that what he saw was nothing compared to what he knew 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a point where he starts reading the Lectitio Divinitatis. There's a point where he actually begins to think about praying to the Emperor. Like there's a lot of character development in Reboot Gilliman.
Yeah, you had an entire trilogy to do that, but also like we're for every like OG Cato Sicarius, I mean, we got Titus, we got Hero Ventris.
Yeah.
I mean, and we got
Maricus.
Maricus. We got a whole bunch of like stuff where they actually do stuff. Now, I will say, I'll argue below, if they're going to be A tier, below Imperial Fist, because they still do win stuff they shouldn't win. And at least with Imperial Fist, it's like desperate last stand. We're fortifying this fucking place, heroic last stand to the man, rah, for the Emperor. Ultramarines are just Carjanana.
Yeah.
Also, they get plus
I
1
would-
points for the entire float for McCrag bit during
I would
Horse Heresy.
I would put them at the top of B, at the bottom of A if I really.
You know what?
had to
I
put-
think top of B is pretty suitable. They're
Okay.
they're
yeah,
in the middle.
yeah,
They're in the middle.
I'll say top of B.
Top
Just
of B. They're in the middle. They do good work, but also part of the points is just because they're oversaturated.
Right.
we'll
Yeah.
put okay. So yeah, that makes sense. Put the two poster boys together.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Okay.
the essential poster boy and then the secondary poster boy behind them. I like it.
Okay.
Next week. All right. 14th.
14th. S.
Good. Okay.
Hurry up, we're gonna get into a big one because we're at Death Guard.
You guys did Death Guard. Be back with the next one.
Oh, buddy.
Death Guard. Okay. When it comes to the Death Guard, I'm going to speak from the 30K perspective because I don't know really much about 40K Death Guard. Obviously, Mortarian's back.
Yeah, Mortarian's back. So, nah, they're not. I'm speaking completely out of bias whenever I say S tier because they're my Chaos Legion.
I think in all fairness, given the Death Guard, they were written well, but I think they suffer from the same thing that like Iron Hands and all them suffer from. They don't have too much fucking written about them. Now I'm talking about 30K. Like I said, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
30.
know 40K.
Now,
I don't know about 40K stuff. In 30K, you had Flight of the Eisenstein.
yeah, you had
you had-
Flight of the Eisenstein. I mean, it depends. Do you consider do you consider all the Nathaniel Garrow books technically a Death Guard book, or do you just consider them a Grey Knight book?
I would consider that a Garrow book
Yeah. So you have,
because whether he was with the Death Guard or with the Grey Knights or in between, it was still just.
but I mean,
Nathaniel
even
Garrow.
still, you have a few moments because you have Flight of the Eisenstein. You have what is it? Was it not Path to Heaven? The other, was it Scars? I think where Mortarian shows up, where they go to Prospero, and Mortarian shows up, and Jagatai fights Mortarian.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so you have that. You have, I mean, they're spread out, but they still have their big moments.
Yeah. We're discussing how the Death Guard kind of suffer from the same thing that the Iron Hands suffering from, where and this is me speaking from the 30K aspect because I don't know what they're doing or anything about 40K Death Guard, but like you really only have like Flight of the Eisenstein for Death Guard, and then you get like glimpses of them in other books, but you don't. There's really not much there about them. When there is something there, you get a better insight onto how the Legion works and everything like that, and what they're about.
But see, at the same time, they had those, but then they're pretty much prevalent in Siege of Terra.
Right.
They're the spearhead force that drops down.
I mean, the entire Barry Dagger book alone. They were also on Moloch. I mean, there was a few things they did, but yeah, they definitely weren't the most prevalent. And most of their appearances are with another Legion, but also I look at Death Guard. I'm like, they're solid. They suffer from the same thing that I would say like all Mono God 40K Chaos factions suffer from, where it's like they kind of turn a bit one note in 40K, even if they get books like Plague Wars.
Not one note.
Basic troops, not characters.
Okay.
Yeah, not
okay.
characters. No, the characters are definitely a lot better when it comes to this stuff in 40K.
But see, to me though, they're a lot better written. As they're not as well written as Emperor's Children is, but they're above. To me, they're above. They're definitely above World Eaters because
Yeah.
I mean, one you see that they're the one Legion that to me like stands the best chance at some type of redemption.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
To me, it would be almost between them and the Thousand Sons, if the Thousand Sons could be redeemed. But even like if you go to play everything goes back to that fucking trilogy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's, at least in 40K, you just only have that one trilogy, which granted is more than most of the guys on the book.
Yeah, and I mean,
on the list.
other than that, you have like the one the one short story that's like the traitor and the alien or whatever.
I mean, I'll say B, I like A or B.
You think that high though?
Yeah, I think that high. Yeah.
I think,
Personally, yeah.
honestly, I think that high just because of how well written they are. Because they're not the one. I can name. You can go fucking Mortarion. You can go Typhus. You can say fucking. You can say Garrow if you want to go original Death Guard
Yeah.
characters.
Okay, well, we gotta put him somewhere. I'm gonna say, honestly,
I would say B.
Yeah, B.
I wouldn't go
I'd say
any
B.
higher than
B.
B for sure.
Yeah,
B.
probably B.
They got good, but they don't really breach into the A tier.
Yeah,
territory.
they've got more. They've got more than the
high B.
Yeah.
B. Because honestly,
I'm thinking like above Dark Angels, below Wolves.
actually, I think they're like,
I'd put them above Dark Angels.
yeah,
In all honesty.
yeah, I agree.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay. Now, Space Wizards. Let's try to simplify this one because we could talk for hours about fucking T-Suns. A tier.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What? Do you want to lower? For T-Suns?
Burning a Prospero, fucking Thousand Suns, like even in some of the short stories.
I'd almost put them like the lower B tier because literally there's no one except for fucking Magnus and Ahriman. And they're not even really writing books about Magnus now. They're writing
Magnus,
books about Ahriman.
if you want to, Iskander, no, not Iskander, fucking the black.
Nope, he's a Black Legion. Iskander
Okay,
Kaon.
we're gonna include him in that. I was including him as a character of the Legion, but in that case, I also say you have the entire Ahriman trilogy that's still going with his rivalry trying to get the Black Library with the Eldar. Like they're still doing stuff in 40K. They're about as notable as like the Death Guard, if not a little bit more so.
Yeah.
That being said, and also the entire tragic downfall in 30K, that's a little bit almost as good as the World Eaters one.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I would not place them any lower than B,
You
but I would also say
obvious
A.
wrong.
I mean, killing 500 Astra Telepathica and then thousands more other fucking psychers and shit by trying to tell Dad a message.
Would you have Warhammer without the Thousand Suns?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Would it intrinsically change? It would. It wouldn't be the biggest change, but it would be a big change. That's why I'm saying A tier. They're not like an essential whole bunch of shit changes without them, but at the same time, like they're good. They're just not the best.
So where do we put them on B tier? Or are you saying putting them on A tier?
I want to say A tier. I really do, and I hate the T-Suns.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of.
I'm trying to think of how to fucking dunk on them and fucking push them
Well,
down.
I'm trying to think of how else they'd be pivotal to the entire Horus Heresy, and
As a Space Wolf player, I'm looking for fucking kicks in the nuts here.
and to be honest, after the burning of Prospero, I mean, you don't really see them again until what? Fucking maybe the siege?
until like no, you don't even see him at the siege.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was talking to fucking.
Because
Who do you see at the
they-
siege?
they
You see
all-
who do you see at the siege? You see Magnus and Ahriman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they've fucked off to another.
Yeah, they fucked off.
Dimension
They
or some
fucked off
shit.
to the planet of the sorcerers,
Right.
and then they lived at
Okay,
the
well,
planet
they
of the.
have done less than Death Guard. How about B tier below Death Guard? Actually,
I'd
I
put them
think
above.
that's
I put them
fine.
above Death Guard just
Okay.
because of the. There's more about them.
That's fair.
I'll say that.
I'll say Space Wolf. Right next to the Space Wolves. How about
Yeah,
that?
there we go. But below the
Yeah.
Space Wolves, so that they know their fucking place.
Okay. Sons of Forest / Black Legion.
S tier.
S tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Fully
100%.
agreed.
There's no heresy.
No
without
heresy.
Yeah, there's no
would-
heresy and there's no 40K without
I would
Avalon.
put them top of S tier. Unironically, yes.
Yeah.
Unironically. I
I mean,
I
they
love them
started
to
the
death.
whole fucking.
Yeah,
thing.
they started it and they're working on, and essentially, as much as you hate saying it, fucking Abaddon is a son of Horus who is finishing it.
Yeah, no, he is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so Yeah, I'd put them. That's an
Yeah.
easy top one.
The,
Fucking, you
the
can't.
books are good. Everything else, they have a little bit of fatigue, like the Ultramarines. But in my opinion, it makes a lot more sense for Black Legion to be everywhere than one fucking chapter. So it's like I can live with that. Right?
Yeah. So, all right, well, that was easy
That
enough.
was very easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was all
Yeah.
right. So 16, 17 word bearers. They go in word bearers.
If you didn't make that own category, I'll put them in S tier. I would.
Well, they deserve their own fucking category because they are They are
There's no in
instrumental.
between. There's really no in between. You either
Yeah.
love word bearers or
Yeah.
you fucking hate word
yes,
bearers.
Yeah, they were instrumental in literally everything happening in the Horus Heresy, but they're so fucking hated.
They're so
like
fucking cringe.
yeah. Like we talk about the Sons of Horus, being S tier. They started everything, this and that. Technically, the word bearers started everything.
Yeah, word
And
bearers.
the biggest thing is that they are prevalent. They are hated for good fucking reason.
Yeah.
Fuck Erebus. But also,
But see, that is a prime definition of a character that is
Yes,
so well
exactly,
written that
yes.
you can't
it's
fucking
the
stand
Iron
him.
Warriors were like they got their own flaws, and these are a hell of a lot of flaws, but they exist for a reason because they are the unapologetic. There's no twisting it. They're fucking bad guys. They're the epitome of evil. That's what they fucking do.
Yes.
For better, for worse.
There's no well, they could have been good. It's like
No, they
fuck,
couldn't.
no.
They were bad from the fucking
Their only redemption arc would have been Argel Talon. Fucking sure enough, Erebus being the bad guy as he is written. Fucking
their
slit his
existence
throat.
is an argument for abortion rights. Yeah, like that type of
Yeah, they deserve their own category for the sheer fact that they have instrumentally made the entire Horus Heresy and 40K fucking just everything. Like they were instrumental in everything.
Salamanders, easy D.
Uh,
Salamanders is another D for me.
I would say C.
What?
War of the Beast.
I haven't read War of the Beast yet.
I'm not saying it's well written. I'm just saying like do the prevalence and also do the Vulcan. I'm just saying, and I know that the Primarch's carrying the ranking a little bit, but
I'd put him in D above. I'd put if all the Primarch's doing is carrying him, I'd put him in D above Iron Hands.
Yeah. When it comes to the Salamanders, man, I am at a complete loss. I have no fucking clue what they
I mean,
do with them.
let's put it this way. Would you rank Salamanders above World Eaters?
Yes, just because.
But would you rank them above Night Lords?
Yes.
So you rank
Oh wait,
yeah.
Would I rank them above?
Sorry.
No.
Oh, so you put them below?
No, because if World Eaters come into a book, I'm like, fuck yeah, the World Eaters are coming into a book. Here we go. Shit's about to get fucking gnarly. If the Night Lords I put in there, once again, they're not well written, but I can name you more characters. Salamanders, I can literally name you Vulcan.
Fair play. Okay.
And fucking Agrax Earthshade or whatever the fuck his name is.
Agrito.
Yeah. Those are really it's the same thing with World Eaters.
Top of D though.
Yeah.
And
I'd say top of D. They have more than the Iron Hands, but do they have?
I feel like if we put more weight on Vulcan himself is
Vulcan is a very big crutch.
Vulcan is a very big crutch. Where I think if we took that more into account, they would easily rise up.
Actually, you know what?
Yes,
because I almost want to put them above Night Lords just because simply of that one fucking. It's still a hammer.
That beatdown earned them above Night Lords.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's enough to carry him above Night Lords.
No, it's not because like Sephiroth say, you take Vulcan away. What do you have with Salamanders?
Agrax Earthshade.
You have nothing. Yeah. It's another legion that GW has just done absolutely nothing with.
Codex compliant chapters getting shit on when what? Oh yeah.
We knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of that,
17.
Raven Guard.
I like the Raven Guard.
It's either another C or a D, bro. I like
every time
them
they're written pretty well. They're always doing some cool shit.
Fulgrim Assassination, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how about
I'd say
Fulgrim
C below
Assassination,
Night Lords.
Yeah. Fulgrim Assassination, fucking like an
Fulgrim
entire
Assassination,
fucking squad
fucking
sneaking up on
Korax
Kurz.
out here fucking just harassing the shit out of Lorgar.
But also Raven Guard were the most instrumental in the Damocles Crusade against the Tau. That was like one of their big 40k things.
And they fucking survived the SN5
Yeah.
pretty pretty
Yeah.
easy than the other two legions, three
Yeah.
legions.
Yeah, so I'd say C tier.
Yeah, I agree with C.
Yeah. Where else?
Definitely C. Yeah, bro. I'll say right there. That's fine.
Yeah, bottom C.
Yeah, bottom C.
All right.
Okay.
The 19th.
Alpha
That was
Legion.
19th. Yeah.
That was
Now-
19th.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
19th. Now we're 20th. Yeah.
Alpha
Yeah,
Legion.
Alpha Legion. On the
Hey.
scale on a scale of sheer fuckery, I would put them in S tier because you never know what the fuck you're getting. Every time they're involved in something, it's either a good thing or a bad thing, but the way they go about it is always
See,
creative.
I will say
But I'd
A tier because we know the name of like every single guy. Like you can name like 20 guys in Alpha Legion off the top of your head. And then on top of that, they're so special. They need like their own unique tier. But what they do when they show up, if an Alpha Legion enters like a book, you have the entire oh fuck moment, and it's
Yeah.
way more than like anybody else combined because you know it's not going to be what it appears.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
they're prevented from S because that works a little bit to their disadvantage because then it's like sometimes nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't know whether they're traitor or if they're loyalists or if they're just playing both ends against the middle.
But from sheer amount of writing, to me that knocks them down to B.
What do you mean?
Because
writing.
they have two books that
Oh,
are technically in the two books in the Horus Heresy that are technically Alpha Legion books.
Oh yeah, they
If
have
you really
Legion.
like, they don't get me wrong, they have moments and you can name people, but I mean, if literally naming people is just going, oh, Alfarius, 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 Alfarius,
That's one thing,
Alfarius.
A, but not. But I will say, can we include Bronzy in the list?
fucking bronzy.
Bronzy.
Yeah.
But to me, like
They have several books in the Horus Heresy. Okay, they have Legion and they have fuck, what's the one that
the Battle for Pluto.
That's
I
Praetorian of
forget
Dorn.
that-
That's
yeah,
a separate book.
yeah.
That's a separate book. That's Praetorian of Dorn.
I know that's my
yeah.
two books. They have
Oh
Legion.
no, they have the one where they're fighting the fucking White Scars.
Oh, so they have
That's
three
Path
books.
to Heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, Path to Heaven.
Yeah,
Or at least
so
that's
so
the
to me
And then
that
they
would
also
put them at
have-
B. To me, that puts them at B tier.
They also have Harrow Master,
Mhm.
which is a 40K book. They also have Alfarius, Head of the Hydra, which is Alfarius' fucking book and shit.
But I mean, every Legion has their Primarch book.
But all those books, when it depicts the Alpha Legion, it's always consistent.
No, it's not, because it's Alpha Legion. They're not
No,
consistent. That's
in behavior, not
It's-
in
yeah.
info, but yeah.
not in info for sure. Not in
I was about to
info,
say
but-
that's what makes them the Alpha Legion, is because of the inconsistency.
Exactly, their consistency, or they're inconsistent.
But to me,
Consistently
like,
inconsistent.
but
Goddamn.
you know, the reason
But-
why we put these guys on fucking like A tier, S tier, B tier is like, one, between like the moments they have, and two, between like the amount that they've done. And I don't think between, like, they have cool moments and they have a little bit more written about them, but is it more than people above B tier? And I don't think so.
However, sure, they may not have as much written about them as the guys in B tier, but everything that they've written that is written about them
I don't
has in
think, I
some way informed.
still don't think it's enough to put them in a class with the A's or the S's.
I would put them in A for the simple fact that anytime they're involved, it affects everybody. It always
Let's also
affects
think to the
everyone.
storylines of like the Cabal, right? They were doing stuff with fucking goddamn, what was her name? At the Cyrene, whenever it
Mhm.
comes to like the Argonauts going on to Terra, whether you like the plot line or not. And then even it comes on
But
to
that wasn't her. I mean, that wasn't them. That was one dude that was
but
technically
one
fucking.
Alpha Legionnaire is the Alpha Legion because that's how they operate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's their
And
method
that's the
of
thing
war.
is,
Yeah.
if you see one Alpha Legionnaire, you can it's like a cockroach. If you see one, you can expect there to be a lot more.
But he
Yeah.
wasn't operating as an Alpha Legionnaire.
He's still Alpha Legion because half the time Alpha Legion works against itself, especially during the Horse Heresy. So I'm
Yeah.
still counting that.
I would definitely put them in A for the simple fact that they're everywhere and they're nowhere and they're constantly fucking with shit.
Warhammer would not be Warhammer without Alpha Legion. That's my big sticking point right now. Whereas like even if it's the case where like they don't have like the most direct lore impact in that capacity, they're there, and I'm still thoroughly convinced they fucking rigged the council in IKEA. I am convinced that is
But
all
if
them.
we just go on speculation and everything, we'd be changing up.
I'm not including the IKEA stuff on that. I'm just saying.
But I'm talking about even you're saying we wouldn't have even we wouldn't have Horus Heresy without the Alpha Legion, even though they weren't there. Is the biggest thing to me, is because it's essentially it's not written, so it's speculation, and that to me that's what puts them at a B tier, because once again it's all implied that yes, the Alpha Legion is the reason. It's the reason that this happened, the reason that this happened, but it's not written like everything else. I'm just like I said,
it's hard to place them.
I'm going specifically off of writing.
Okay.
I would put them.
My vote.
Should we just put them in the word bearers fucking category?
My vote.
Just turn the word bearers into Alpha Legion.
End of day vote. My vote's bottom of A.
Yeah, I would have to go with A, just because everything that I've read concerning the Alpha Legion, they've got their hands in so many fucking things, and you never know where they're going and why they're doing what they're doing.
But see,
It's like the less they,
I'd put them at the
they talk and the less they're on screen, the
B,
more important
maybe.
they are.
I'd put them at the top of B maybe, because we've broke, and the only reason I say is putting them at B is once again going back to they have their hands in so much shit, but nothing's come out of it, if that makes sense. They've had their hands they've had it come out of certain shit, but it goes back to fucking fucking we'd rank Night Lords cooler if they'd have done more with Decimus and what he had his hands in. We'd do more with Space Wolves if they'd fucking do more with what they had their hands in. If we went with what everybody's hands were in and what it was implied that they were working on, this list would be 100% different. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but every other Legion is
it's
pretty
hard to have the
straightforward.
same standard for Alpha Legion whenever they're the Alpha Legion.
Every other
That's the big
Legion is
thing.
pretty straightforward with what they do. Alpha Legion is the only Legion where they could be progressing.
I knew this one was going to be the hard one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard one, because these guys, they're super unpredictable, but there's always a plan to what they're doing, and it always fucking affects somebody or some Legion in some fucking way.
But if you have 100 strings that lead to 100 dead ends, you still have 100 dead ends that have been nothing done with them.
Only if they're made to appear to be dead ends.
But currently they're made to appear as dead ends because there's been nothing written about them.
Well, the most recent book that came out, I think, was Hero Master, and that was about it. Which I still have to fucking read.
I haven't read that one either, but
yeah.
That's
because they're also still prevalent in 40K as well. That's another thing too. We've been speaking.
Let us go for it.
We've been speaking from just a 30K aspect. 40K, they're still around and they're still doing shit. Now they're broken up into different war bands, but they're still a cohesive network.
But I mean, other than that, what's showing up other than one Alpha Legion being like, "Oh, I'm an Alpha Legion. Here you go. Here's this thing." Once again, it's a string that leads to another fucking. Oh, here's a potential.
But that's the
but
Legion,
it's a dead end.
But that's the Legion. They've been infiltrating all the other legions.
It's still a dead end.
But okay, I know, but that's the point. If there's any other Legion, I'll be like, yeah, you're entirely correct. But whenever it's the Legion that is specifically what's unsaid speaks the loudest, that's whenever I'm willing to kind of like flip the rules on their head.
But then if that's the case, once again, we'd go back and we'd move Death Guard up
because I'm only doing
what's
this for
unsaid
this Legion,
is
for this Legion only, because that is how they operate.
But you can't do that
Yes,
because
you can.
we've held everybody else to the same
We're making up
standard.
these rules as we
Dude,
go along. Yes, we can.
They've infiltrated the Raven Guard all the way to the higher tiers, to like fucking commander levels of infiltration. All for the secrets that the fucking Raven Guard they knew the Raven Guard had the fucking secrets to making Space Marines and shit. How did they know that? Because they were already infiltrated in with them.
I mean, that's cool and everything, but once again,
You telling me that there
if
isn't?
I go versus what's written versus what's implied and what's done, then I still
Okay,
have to put him at
we
B.
gotta wrap up the tier list segment real quick. A, stick it. We got 2 votes. A,
Yeah, stick him at A.
at least bottom of A. So like high B, bottom
yeah,
A.
yeah. If
high
we
B,
go
low
high
A.
B, low A, fuck
Yeah.
it.
Okay, good shit. Okay,
All right. AdMac.
the fuck out. No, no.
S.
Everything else on Word Bears. Okay, so that was the tier list, kind of going over the legions.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of running a little bit low on time, but we do got. I think we'll do the questions, and then after that, we'll kind of talk
Just
briefly
kind of
about.
banter and bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a little banter. Yeah.
That works for me. Where's
Okay.
the
So, because you guys haven't seen all the questions, so I'm excited. Don't pull them up. I'm
Oh,
pulling
you're
them
pulling them up. So,
Okay.
so for those that don't know, we have our own little Discord, Discord link in bio, and we asked some of the guys in the Discord to just ask us random questions that they wanted answered.
So the first one comes from our good old distracted turtle, one of the first guys in the Discord.
Yeah, one of our
So-
OGs has his
Yeah,
own
big
fucking
OG.
has his own little page on our channel.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Our meme quizzer.
So, Officio Assassinorum. You can be whoever in the Imperium, a rogue trader, imperial aristocracy, a guardsman, doesn't matter. But you have one temple agent from the Officio Assassinorum after you. Which one do you think you can escape, kill, or survive against in a week?
In a week?
So survive at least a week or kill him in a week. Just dealing with it in a week. But which agent from the Assassinorum would you take?
So okay, so just for simplicity's sake, let's say guardsman. You're a guardsman. Basic.
Sure,
We'll,
okay.
we'll say that way we don't have to be like, oh well, if I was a rogue trader, then I believe.
Yeah.
But if I was a guardsman, then I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just say We'll say veteran guardsman. We'll say you know your shit.
Yeah.
You know how to survive your shit on the lines and shit.
I would probably have to go with the info site.
Really?
Yeah. I would probably have to go with the info site.
Fuck that,
Okay.
bro. You be dead. Fuck that, bro. You be dead or in prison before you fucking even
Yeah.
knew it.
No, but that's the thing is you can hide your appearance. You can, be fucking hidden underground or whatever. You can Osama bin Laden yourself, for quite a bit and until you figure something out. Try escaping a Calidus assassin. You don't know what the fuck it's going to look like.
No
An
lie.
Eversor will kill you and everything around you
I
just to
think-
get to you.
I think the easiest would be, I gotta be honest, because you're dead either way. Let's get that out of the way, right? Just which one do you have the best chance of? I would say Calidus.
Vindicare.
No, I disagree.
No,
absolutely not.
No. A Vindicare will kill you before you even know he's around.
Yeah.
No.
Because reminder, the time frame's a week. That's why.
Yeah.
That's
I
also
have to
why. That's also.
I have to
yeah.
survive a week.
Yeah, I have to
So-
survive a week, and that's why I said an info site, because an info site is your tech data hacker type dude. Sure, he can ruin your fucking finances and everything like that, but if you're hiding out in a fucking cave,
My man,
Unless you-
until like if you're in the guard in this scenario and stuff like that, and he goes around and fucks with it to basically say, "Oh, he's been suspected heresy," commissar blam. Like you won't even see it coming.
Yeah,
Like,
to me, the Vindicare, because like I said, you can go into that Osama bin hiding, the Osama bin hiding. You can do to me, you can do the Osama bin Laden. You can hide in a cave. You can hide out from a Vindicare. As long as I'm not in a place where a fucking scope can see me, I'm good.
Okay.
If
we
he
got
comes
our
in,
options. We got a few questions. We're gonna speed these along.
okay.
Continuing on from his other questions, what are your thoughts or beliefs behind the Rat Purium in 40K?
I want it.
Implying,
I wanna see
implying
it.
a Skaven. Yeah.
I want 40k Skaven so fucking
If they
bad.
did it right, I would fucking love it. I play Skaven AOS. Fucking. Mwah.
I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah, it'd be
I
cool.
would. I'd be interested. To
And
see
also 100% exists. We just don't see it. It's behind the scenes. That's what it is. It started Necromunda.
Little did
Chaos God,
little
the
did you
Chaos
know
God.
little did you know the Great Horned Rat is actually the 5th Chaos God.
So, would you rather have a Chaos Demon warped Lehman Russ or Corvus Corax?
I
Which
think
one?
both
What's
would
your
look-
preference?
I think both would look dope as fuck, but
I lean more towards Corax.
I would lean more towards Corax.
I
As
th-
well.
I would go
yeah.
Russ.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Hmm.
I just think it'd be cool as fuck. You gotta be
I
honest.
mean, I think it'd be cool, but I think Corax would be cooler. And that's kind of to
Yeah.
me like rugged clean ass Russ is like that's the Russ for me.
Mm.
Yeah, even then, freaking You already know what a werewolf looks like.
Yeah,
How about
I
a
don't know.
crow?
Yeah, I don't know what a were-raven looks like.
Yeah.
Raven. All right. What was the worst or best thing Lorgar did to cause 40K?
What was the best or worst thing he did?
Yeah.
Oof.
Like what do you think's like Lorgar's defining moment?
Lordar had a defining moment.
I would have to say in terms of character development, his shining moment was the destruction of fucking Monarchia.
Like just during but like what he did specifically.
What he did
Yes.
specifically.
To me, it was probably Cadia.
Cadia. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that, yeah.
The creating of the
The Galvorback.
yeah, the Galvorback and all that. To me, that was because you took like. To me, that was like worst because like it's one thing for Angron or all this. You quite literally took your most devoted son and fucking
Sent him into
tossed
the
him
war.
in the fucking tossed him in the eye of terror and was like,
Yeah.
"All right, son, we'll
Go
see what
check
happens.
it out. Yeah.
Go see what you can find for daddy."
I would
that.
say it was the transformation of the forcible transformation and ascension of Angron.
Yeah, that was a close second.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, that really showed his fucking character because he could do that to his do that to his own legion and shit and whatever, fine, but he did this to his own brother and without his brothers even fucking knowing, like he set him up from the fucking beginning, like that. Yeah.
I mean, he was practically begging for it, bro. Look what he was wearing.
So, next one from Killer Orca, another good old long time Discord member. So we got a few ones. First one, when do you think Malkador got addicted to Zins? He's a perpetual, so he surely must have had gotten hooked when they first came out.
Yeah. To me, it was like to me, it was when Zin's first dropped. He probably
Yeah.
had the original Swedish Zins.
Probably.
He got this recipe and shit, and he's just been making them ever since.
I like to think that Malkador hasn't technically been born yet, stuff like that. So I'm assuming he's in his thing of a sigilite. He's going around and they've got the fucking the toe back and the low sticks, and then he finally finds this and he's like, you know what? I don't gotta be smoking when I'm doing my duties.
I mean, theoretically, the Emperor's alive right now, so maybe the Emperor was addicted to Zins,
Maybe
and then
the
he was
Emperor
like,
was.
Malkador, have you tried these?
Oh, the Emperor got him addicted. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it.
true.
Yeah. The Emperor's running the Zen factory.
Yeah, they were in the golden ship, and it was almost like you know how like when you were a kid you discovered like your mom or your dad smoked or something, you found like the pack and you were like, whoa. That was probably what Malkador did. He probably like reached into the cup holder of the fucking and found like the Zen thing and was like,
Well, they're probably on the way to Moloch the first time.
Biggie, what are these? And he was like,
No, that's what the Emperor got out of Moloch, and he gave.
the Emperor opened up the gates of Moloch. He's like, what'd you get? And he was like, I've got Zen.
That's what they meant when they said he took fire from the gods. It was the Zens, bro.
He looks at Malkador
It was
like,
the
"This
Zen
shit is
cinnamon."
fire."
He gave him the Zen recipe. That's
Yeah.
what happened to it.
Oh, shit.
And on a more serious note, who do you think the next Primarch to come back will be?
Well, they just brought back fucking Fulgrim, so it's gonna have to be a
Probably
loyalist.
loyalist, yeah.
And
As much as I want it to be Russ, I don't think it's going to be Russ.
Vulcan?
I think it's going to
I
be
think it's
Vulcan.
gonna be Vulcan.
I think it's gonna be Vulcan.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Vulcan.
It's time to raise up the DEI score.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
We had the white Primarch
he's
come
good.
back.
I'm just happy it's Vulcan. So, what can GW to fix the Codex issue? Are they okay as they are, or do they need more lore and fewer rules? Get rid of lore entirely and make it all rules? How would you guys make them worth buying again?
Go back to 9th edition.
So you think it was just like the actual, not necessarily the amount of rules versus lore, but it's just like the actual the game itself?
I would rather them just stop focusing on the competitive aspect of it and make it fucking lore, like make each faction broken in its own way.
Okay. So you think it's more like the overall, the faction rules, and then also like I guess we say the game mechanics as a whole, that kind of
Yeah,
deterred the
in
Codex
all
buying.
honesty, like I think because I was one of those that I started at the tail end of 9th edition.
Yeah.
And going from 9th edition to 10th edition, if I was a new player that came in and saw what 10th edition is and then saw what 9th edition was,
Yeah.
I'd be begging to go back to 9th.
Yeah. I think with the codexes should just be a lore book and a picture book, and have nothing for the army, whatever, and all the rules and shit should just be put online and fucking made available for everybody.
You know what? I'm more in the vein of what you're saying, whereas like used to be in like 8th, 9th edition, like you picked up a codex, that wasn't just a rule book, that was like that's your army,
Yeah.
like you took some pride in that. Now if
Yeah.
you pick up a book, like in 10th edition, it's just like you're just buying rules, so you have easier access to them, right? So
Right, and
yeah.
and those rules are already out of date by the time you buy the fucking book.
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and I
So
mean,
I would
like,
say
even the
like
lore-
more clearly defined lore, and then the
Yeah.
rules are actually like you can go from the lore section to the rules section and see why they work together
Yeah.
instead of being two entirely separate things that you just happen to get with the book.
Yeah, because the thing I've read some of the codexes, and like most of them are quite literally just shit that you already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basic, copy paste shit.
It's
from-
all like you're picking it up for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
It-
each
it doesn't-
codex should
it's
have
not doing anything to further your army.
Yeah,
Yes.
each codex should have a bit of lore, like at least
Where they
let's
are
say
now.
5 or 6 pages of lore dedicated to just that army, and it's new shit. It's not fucking regurgitated from other books or anything like that. It's brand new lore, and it adds to the story of the army. That way, you're not wondering, well, what the fuck's going on with my army in 40K?
Yeah.
Fucking Salamanders players and shit like that. You know?
Yeah.
Iron Hands.
Yeah, Iron Hands. It's like
Where,
I don't know
where's the
what's
Iron
going on
Hands
with my
back
army.
in 8th edition where you fucking belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And what is your favorite episode you've done so far, and why?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. Favorite episode.
You know
we've
what
done so far?
you know what I really gotta say?
Hmm.
I gotta say, I really do. I have to say Ultramarines. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in the beginning of the series, like we're kind of getting in our swing, and I feel like towards the end, we were like, well, let's get it over with. Ultramarines was like peak in the middle, and we had everything to discuss about in that episode. So it wasn't like, oh, we got to get back on topic, because with Ultramarines, everything was the topic, right?
Hmm.
So that's like one of my favorites. Yeah.
I have to say, I do have to agree. Ultramarines was a good one. Purely because we got the lore done. We had a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
Fucking all
Is that
that.
is that the episode where we figured out the Space Marine jizz fucking
It
speed?
might have been.
I think
don't
so.
know off the top
Yeah.
of
I
my
think when we were talking about Euro Ventress and all that. But yeah, either that one, or I'd say the one day you were out, whenever me and Corn did the Rogue Trader episode. That one was
yeah.
to me. That one was fun.
That
forgot
one-
about the
that one
side
was really
episodes,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah. That
And I
one.
will say a follow up is actually probably going to be the probably the Cleve Squirmin episode, just because I had a lot of fun like doing my shitty ass animations about that.
Oh my god, yeah. The Cleve
Yeah.
Squirmin episode was a really fun one to do.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just a that
It
was
was
just
just
a
like a side-
random
it's a
ass
side
fucking
project, but
idea,
it's fun.
random
It's fun.
autistic idea that I
Yeah.
had. I was like, hey, what if we had an orc that was like Steve Irwin?
Yeah, I'd just be like, yeah, this would be kind of fun. So it was just fun having those little side episodes to the main episode. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next question by the right tackle. Do you think Space Marine 2 or Dark Tide portrays the 40K universe better?
I would have to say Space Marine too.
I
I
actually agree.
I'd almost say dark.
The reason is because you see what happens to your character in Space Marine 2, and you're like, yeah, a Space Marine tanks that. Dark Tide, you get
Yeah,
mauled
Dark
up and
Tide,
you
you
said
do have
chew toy by a fucking beast of Nurgle, and then you come on out, you're like, oh, back to fighting. Let me just get proed by a Medicaid real quick, So
I think
yeah.
Space Marine 2 does a really good job of showing what the Tyrannic Crusade would look like.
But to me,
Tyrannic
they
War.
both do
Yeah, they're
their own
both
thing. To me,
Yeah.
the Space Marine 2 shows you the scale.
Yeah.
It shows you everything, the scale wise, from tiny guardsmen
Yeah.
to big huge fucking space, big huge Tyranid fleet coming after you.
Yeah.
To me, Dark Tide shows that gritty, grim dark side of 40K.
Yeah. It just I feel like it's the small level plot armor your
Yeah,
characters
yeah,
have that
yeah.
kind of like separates the two. They're both really good though. And it goes to show like, hey, 40K can be Tyranids in like a bright environment that's honestly not too grim dark, at least from the atmosphere,
Or it
versus
can be
Dark
full
Tide.
of
where it's-
demons.
So
Yeah.
so what you're saying is from an aesthetic standpoint, Dark Tide,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
from an actual
Like
I guess-
scale point.
Yeah,
scale
yeah.
experience,
Yeah,
Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
I can go with that because Space Marine 2,
Yeah.
you feel like a fucking
like
badass.
if they took if they took that dark grittiness and transferred it over to Space Marine 2, perfect game.
Yeah, which I feel like
Space Marine
it's,
3.
yeah, pretty good.
Could possibly it.
Yeah, especially with what we've seen from like the next level, or what was it, new level?
Yeah, secret level.
Yeah, secret the secret level animation, how they went with that, like they went towards
that
like that
was-
gritty, dark fucking animation
Yes.
style. To me, that was cool as fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was really
So
well done.
they each do their own thing pretty damn well, but Space Marine 2 is
Space
the
Marine
overall
2
winner.
definitely edges
Yeah.
it out. Just
Edges out.
Yeah.
So next
edges.
one,
Edging so hard because of
edges. Oh god, what else? Skibbity. So Distracting Turtle again. This is for each of you. So we'll go one at a time. Do you have a specific type of Space Marine armor you like the most or worst? Which mark? And is there a specific legion that changes it? You can include that and why. And also, if you're a generic Space Marine, what is your weapon loadout?
All right, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah,
on
go
this.
first, go.
All right, Horus Heresy wise goes, Crusader armor,
Oh,
top tier.
Crusader. Okay.
Love Crusader armor.
Okay.
Crusader armor is fucking top tier. You put it on a Space Wolf, give it some armor pelts. Fucking top tier Space Wolf army. When you go to like new shit, I lean kind of between Phobos armor and Gravis armor.
I do like the Gravis armor.
I lean a lot more towards Gravis armor. Big old chunky
Yeah,
motherfucker.
chunky
Yeah,
motherfucker,
just
yeah.
fucking. There's just something nasty about it.
Okay.
Phobos only because the Hounds of Mordecai do
Gotcha.
like a cool
any
thing.
like any specific legion caveats?
Not really. Raven Guard and their Corvus pattern armor
Oh, fair.
is definitely a caveat to that.
Fair.
Fucking, there's just something about that sleek black fucking
Yeah, the little sleek
Raven
bat with
look.
a beak. Yeah.
Yeah.
And weapon loadout.
Oh,
If you're a generic TAC Marine, we'll pretend any company, any whatever.
any
full armor is
any
open.
company,
Yeah.
give me a trusty old bolter and chainsword, couple of crack grenades, and I'm good.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Corn, what you
Hmm.
got?
I would have to say for Horus Heresy, I don't know why, but I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the Mark 6 Beaky Boy armor.
Okay.
Again,
Okay.
but it would have to be. I like the Alpha Legion armor. I like the aesthetic of their
Okay,
armor.
so
and
Legion
stuff like
specific.
that.
That
Yeah,
kind of
Legion
Alpha
specific
Legion, how
would
they
be
run it.
Alpha Legion armor.
Okay.
Namely the Headhunter Kill Squad armor.
Fair.
Like, have you seen the armor? Have you seen the helmet? Fucking
yeah.
awesome as shit.
Mhm.
It looks dope as fuck.
Alright.
As for weapon loadout, give me a fucking Nemesis bolter, man.
Oh.
Ooh.
Give me a
Oh,
fucking
okay.
Nemesis
We
bolter.
got our fucking sniper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a
okay.
Nemesis bolter
respect
and fucking just a plasma pistol.
I respect it. Okay.
I want a day.
Don't roll a one. So,
yeah, no shit.
all right. I would say 100% Mark III because it's fucking Mark III. Goddamn.
The night crew, the night armor.
The fucking the iron, yeah, the iron with the pickle helm, yeah, that one,
Yeah.
yeah. And Legion variants. I mean, dude, the only Legion type stuff I like is just general Crusade all the way up to everything the Night Lords have with the fucking aesthetic they got. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, gotta love that aesthetic.
But you can't beat Imperial Fist Mark III. That is just peak 30K right there, and that goes all for 30K, 40K, just flat out Mark III, just
Yeah.
boom, done. When it comes to weapon loadout, heavy bolter. Heavy fucking bolter. Yeah, that's where you got to go because it's so unsatisfying. But like you're sending out like 75 caliber RPGs, just automatic rapid fire. Something special about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I can see it.
So from good old Rom next. So what's next? Are you going to do guard regiments, Inquisition Ordos, or maybe tackle specific times, place, events, or people that tickle you? Will there be Serpent's Lodge Marine chapter?
So
Wait.
interesting you said that. I've kind of
Yes.
been working on. I've been since the beginning, since the dawn of the Serpent's Lodge. We've actually toiled around with the idea of a Serpent's Lodge chapter. I mean, I've kind of fucked around with some color schemes and shit. Whether or not we come out with something official, maybe
I can make it work.
we could probably do it.
We can do it.
Yeah.
What are we doing next?
I figure it's the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about
Sure.
right. Next, we'll
Yeah.
probably be doing guard. I think we decided we'll do some like mixed in stuff.
Yeah.
If we decide to, like, because I know that there have been a couple of successor chapters that have been mentioned and stuff like that. We'll get into them eventually,
Yeah.
but just hang tight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, different Astartes, successors, stuff like that. They're not going anywhere, but definitely the main series is gonna be the Guard Regiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yep.
Any more
So,
questions?
next one from Wamoods. So, where are those Minotaurs or Iron Snakes for reaching 300 subs? Also, who's your favorite Space Marine character or Primarch? So I gotta be honest, I don't remember them making the first promise, but considering it was at 300 subs, we probably made that really early on. I forgot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll just defer back to we'll put those up as maybe the first ones
Yeah,
for
yeah. We'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what like I said, what we'll probably do is we'll probably stick with guard as like our main little thing. We'll probably write out something for successor chapters that we can do and go over them because I don't want to let our successor people down because they have a lot of. I mean,
There's so many, and it's so like you find very if somebody likes a successor chapter, they are passionate.
yes.
Yeah, way crazy passionate. And favorite Space Marine character or Primarch?
Oof. Favorite Primarch. Uh, Lehman Russ.
Yeah,
Big
these
surprise.
are pretty much obvious at this
Yeah,
point.
I just want to let them know, like, we made the thumbnail while you're still an orc player and like doing orcs, but you're just getting a Space Wolves, and then we start, and then you're like full Space Wolf, and you
Yeah.
haven't really touched orcs since. And that
Yeah, I
was,
know. I haven't touched orcs at all. I still love orcs,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
I've kind of evolved, and orcs. I mean, it's one of those things. Orcs, I'll still always have love for orcs. They were my
They're just
first army I played, but
kind of low on the evolutionary totem pole.
yeah, they're just. It's just one of those things where I found other things that I like a lot more.
Yeah.
Understood.
I think favorite Primarch obviously is going to be Angron, both 30k and 40k, just because fucking he's a ravening psychopath in 40k, but in 30k he yeah feel for the guy.
Mhm.
Now as for favorite character, I gotta go with my man Uzas.
Who's that?
Gotta go with Uzas. He's a fucking maniac, but damn
Yeah.
it, dude, he's funny as shit.
Oh,
the
but he
Nightlight
wasn't a
trilogy.
maniac though, and that was what made it sad.
I know, but still, he was,
Bro, when that fucking happened, I about lost my shit.
Yes, dude, me too. That
When
was an
fuck-
actual. I
when
did
it-
not see that coming.
Yeah,
That
neither
was,
did I.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit,
I
he
lost my
wasn't
shit.
fucking crazy.
yeah.
yeah. I would say,
R.I.P.
yeah, RIP. I would say favorite Primarch. Take a fucking guess. I wonder. Rogodorn, obviously, the best of the best. When it comes to characters, if we're not going to include Primarchs, I'm actually probably going to say Fabius Bile.
Yeah, see, I was either gonna say Fabius Bile or if we're going Space Marines, I'll say Fabius Bile is a character. If we're going humans, Caiaphas Cain.
Fair.
Because to me he's got everything. He's humorous. He's just a dude. He's literally the epitome of a dude that's looking out for himself, trying to survive, and it just fucking gets battle honors because of it.
Okay, so this next one is gonna ask you guys to quote unquote design something new, and I'll tell you in 1 second. I'm gonna give you guys like 1 minute, and you guys got to think in your head what it's gonna be, and then we'll share. Okay. So, from Distracted Turtle, design and describe a new demon engine. What it do? Any lore? Is there a go-to for specific Legion warband, or they spawn on their own in a sense and get catered into service? And also, any technology or machine in 40k that's just really interesting. So, if you had to make your own demon engine off the top of your head, what do you think it would be?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I would take the body of a Bane blade. All right.
It's a great beginning. Go ahead.
Fucking
Yeah.
take a Bane blade, right? But give it the same kind of like it's gonna have 3 of the cannon, almost like the Forge Fiend back there.
Yeah.
All right. It's gonna have 3 of those fucking cannons and shit on there. And I would have to say it would look kind of like what you see like the Demon Engine Perturabo fucking
I've seen a few.
yeah, like the concept arts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, just like kind of cables everywhere going through it. Obviously sharp, chaos type spikes and points and shit like that. Think of a Bane blade, but kitted out to look like a fucking hearse.
That would be pretty fucking cool. Okay.
Yeah. See, I this was one of the questions that I had read, and to me, like, perfect demon engine would be fucking. It's almost what he said, but I would. That's how I would bring in Demon Primarch Perturabo.
Ooh.
As like
I
a
w-
Bane blade.
I would I would fuse Perturabo with Torment, or not Torment. What's it called? Tormentor or whatever. His fucking Shadow Sword.
Okay.
So big, almost like, think of like almost fucking like Lord of Skulls or Defiler, but on
Yeah.
top of a fucking, but it's Perturabo just fucking perched on top of a fucking Baneblade
Mm,
Yeah.
with the Hammer of Olympia and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking just nasty.
okay. I'll probably go in and say, you guys know the Termix assault drill?
Yeah.
That's we got the Sky with the Helldrake. We got, of course, ground demon engines. We need like a demonic burrowing sandworm.
Like a subterranean.
Yes. Can you imagine the terror of like you're fighting on any planet, you just have a demon engine like Transformer style, like burst from the ground to start slicing people up.
All like fucking Dark
Yeah.
Side of the Moon, the
Yes,
fucking big old
yes.
fucking that'd be
Yes,
cool
yes.
as fuck.
So I think that'd be
That
cool.
would be dope as fuck.
And it's so sad that they can do so much stuff with like the demons and the demon engines, and it's relatively limited.
Yeah, I'd say
So,
that or fucking like a basilisk, like
Yeah.
a demon, like a basilisk on fucking like spider legs.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
So any interesting tech in 40K where you're like, oh, that machine's pretty cool.
Interesting tech.
Yeah, like any machines. Anything from 40K where you're like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, like the generic sci-fi tech.
To me, like knights and titans.
Knights and John, okay.
Knights and titans. How like to me, just like the what is it, like the machine spirit idea in general.
Ooh, yeah, like yeah.
The fact that like, especially when you like link up to a titan or a knight, that it's not just you fighting, it's quite literally the spirit of that machine along with your quite literal ancestors fighting behind you.
Yeah.
Like there's just something cool about
And your
that.
fucking cerebral cortex, like your entire brain is
now
that
this
fucking
machine.
Is this
To me, that's always been a fucking cool concept, that you connect to this machine and now you have quite literally like the machine and your family behind you helping you fucking.
You do realize that
determine
we're
all
just basically describing Pacific Rim.
I mean, yeah.
These are giant fucking Jaegers.
Well, Pacific Rim is cool, so yeah. But you got the same answer or anything else?
Ah, shit. When it comes to tech, I don't really know, man. I do like the Knights and I do like the Titans and their Chaos versions. The Chaos variants are freaking dope, man. As for tech, shit, I don't know, man. I'd have to look into that a little bit more. I don't really have an answer right now for it.
Okay. I will say for me, the STC. Just the ability and the entire premise of like, hey, when we sit on a colony ships, we're gonna have like you can tear down your ship and have build these STC fabricators that will make you anything in this catalog. I love it because it makes sense on how like actual colonization could actually work.
Yeah.
So there's always stuff in sci-fi where like that would never actually be a feasible thing, but you're looking at the STC, you're like, yeah, if they can fucking get the materials and resources, like set up your own 3D printer for everything.
It's quite literally
STC.
they're already they're already 3D printing houses, so it's
Actually,
essentially
I just thought of something. Fucking drop pods.
Oh,
something about drop pods is just you want to make a fucking entrance. That's how you make a fucking entrance.
Or boarding torpedoes.
Yes.
You're literally just lobbing a big bullet packed with a fucking boarding team and just punching it into the fucking ship.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just thought about that. Drop pods is the ultimate way to tell somebody you're not fucking around.
Yeah.
All right. So next question, we got 2 remaining. Distracted Turtle. Controversial one. Is water wet?
No.
I agree. It's not wet. No.
No,
I can't tell you how many times I've watched that.
Water is not
that
wet.
Naruto fucking
Water
one.
makes stuff wet. Water itself is not wet. Water will make you wet,
Yeah.
but water itself is not
the
wet.
act of being
It-
wet means that water is on something.
It
Some
cannot
water
give
has been
itself its
absorbed
own
into
property.
Wet,
something.
yes,
Yes.
wet is a descriptor of something that is not wet being wet.
Yeah.
If you are in the shower, you are wet. If you let the shower run, it is not wet. So therefore, water itself is not wet. Water makes wet.
Yes,
Yeah.
water makes wet.
Yes, I will stand and die on this hill.
Yeah. It cannot give itself its own property.
Yes.
You can't say that dirt is dirty.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
thank
yes,
you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know.
you. Yes. Like, it's like, yeah, anyways, we're not going to argue with me in the comments. I'll be in the comments. Fuck you. Okay.
You can't say that pure stink is stinky.
Oh, sorry. We have 2 more questions. We got a few more. My bad. Distract Turtle again. Question. How many holes are in a bolter?
How many holes?
How many holes are in a bolter?
I feel like this
There's
is
an actual answer to this, by the way.
one.
Unless he's doing something that I'm unaware of, but there's an actual answer.
Is there an actual 3?
I'm gonna say 6.
6.
Yes.
Okay, so we're 6. We're 6.
Okay. So you have the chamber,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You've got the magazine well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yep. Yep.
You've got the trigger well. There's a hole for the
Yeah,
trigger to
okay.
come through.
I'm seeing where you're going with this. Okay.
You have the actual barrel itself at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume that would just be the first thing you said. Into the barrel. That's the
Well, if
The
you want to count the barrel as one hole, then sure, they will say 5.
I literally just had barrel, magazine port, fucking ejection chamber.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
I wasn't even thinking
ejection-
about those, but
The,
yeah.
the ejection port
what
is
were
another
your 3
hole.
holes?
The ejection port was
Please.
another hole, and then the other holes was the ports on the actual barrel itself, like the porting. On
There
the
are
actual
no
barrel.
ports on the barrel.
What are you talking about?
Look at the barrel of a bolter. It's just one barrel. It's a solid barrel.
Nope.
Then
So
I'm
if
looking
you
at
actually
another barrel,
go
or
and
at
look
another-
up, this does change depending on design. But if you look at an actual bolter, there is one main chamber and there's 2 vent ports. One,
there are-
one,
yeah,
one
there
to
are
either
vents.
side. That's what I
Yeah,
was
I
thinking
didn't
about.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like the vent
Oh.
ports on the side.
I was thinking about it, but if we're gonna include, then yeah. So it would be basically 3 on the barrel. You have the ejection port. You have the magazine well. So we're up to 5. And if you want to include the trigger well, I
Now,
mean,
the
then
trigger's got to
6.
come out of somewhere.
Fair play. Okay, 6. 6. Final answer.
A filled hole is still a hole.
I mean, 6, sometimes 10 if you're close to Admech or Iron Hands.
how
Oh,
many bolts?
Jesus
How many?
Christ.
Wait, how many screws or bolts go into a bolter?
At that point, you are the bolter if you're in
All right.
Admech or Iron
Um,
Hands.
The right tackle again. Will you guys consider covering Death Watch and Black Templars with their own episode? So we
I would
kind
love
of
to do a Death
partially
Watch
answered
one.
this. Yeah, but I will say the
Death Watch and Black Templar, I definitely believe. We touched on them a tiny bit
Yeah.
in the Imperial Fist, but I feel like they've
Probably
done
need their own episode,
They
yeah.
definitely deserve their they
yeah. It's kind of the same thing we ran into with like our very first episodes where we did like intro to Chaos, intro to Xenos, and then into Astartes. We're like, you can get as narrow as you want and make full episodes or more, narrowed in.
Yeah.
And we covered a full Legion, and a lot of that was 30K. So I would say, yeah, we'll definitely be going back, and even if we covered them in like any other first founding chapters, we'll definitely be.
yeah, because I
probably
mean we're
eventually
still
gonna swing back.
like we still owe fucking individual characters their
Yes.
own
Yeah.
episodes.
Now, in the meantime, Death Watch players have to make sure their army remains an army.
Yeah, you guys focus. You guys
Yes.
focus on becoming. You guys focus on staying an army and not becoming
do
an
not let
attachment.
GW
Yes.
fucking Jew you out of this.
Yes. Okay. Now, actually, 2 remaining. Another one from Rom. Hey, would you all ever screw around with any 40K RPG material?
I want us to do this so bad.
We've actually thought about this quite a lot before because we're big RPG fans, or at least mostly me and Groot. You're kind of like new halfway. You've been burned a couple times. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I've played D&D in the past, and I've really liked it and shit and this and that. But it's just like every time we go to start a campaign, something happens, and it only lasts a couple sessions.
Yeah.
We all get like fucking squirrel brain on something else because
Yeah.
something news just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can
yeah.
get devoted time for it, absolutely. I'd
I
love
would
for us to
agree.
do a Serpent's Lodge Dark Heresy or
If there's a time we can ever find and we think it's feasible, we can't guarantee we'd be new to doing a stream on that, so to say. But
yeah.
we would definitely put out something we'd be interested. So I think that could be a cool thing to look into in the future, but that's
Yeah.
unspecified in the future. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. The most important question by Tactical Burrito. Is it gay to kiss your battle brother goodnight?
No.
No.
No,
No,
it's not.
it's
No,
not.
it's not gay to
No.
kiss your battle
No.
brother
No,
goodnight.
not gay.
Not gay.
Not
I
gay.
don't know.
Not
You
gay.
give him a little peck on the forehead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh no, yeah, just pecs, yeah.
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 Yeah,
Oh, what do you
yeah, I
think? Yeah,
mean,
just pecs,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make out with you before you go to bed. That's like
I mean,
that's not.
but why not?
That's not the
Well,
time for that.
yeah, I mean, listen, bro.
It's not the time for that.
You never know.
If we making out, we fucking.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, okay.
Either we fucking or I'm fucking.
Either way, I'm fucking.
Fulgrim, is that you?
So it's not gay unless you're in unless you're in Emperor's Children.
It's
And in
not
that
gay
case,
unless
it's
the
like
ball-
gay on purpose.
It's not gay
Yes.
unless the balls touch.
It's not gay unless the bolters
Yeah.
touch. Unless the 6 ports touch in the middle.
Unless the 6 ports
The
connect.
6 ports in the ball gun. Okay, so I think we got through. Now, brief little thing. We have a couple announcements, and on top of that, also like any general discussion. How do you guys feel? This is like season 1. It's been over a year, but we went through a lot in that year.
We have done a lot.
You're a
Holy shit.
I can't believe we even made it this fucking far to have over 500 fucking subscribers.
I didn't
In
think
the first year.
500 would ever listen. I thought like, if we're lucky, we'll get 50. But,
Yeah.
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 Man,
I
you
didn't
guys are
even
dumb
think,
for
I
subscribing to
honestly
our
didn't even
shit.
think 100 would happen.
Yeah.
But
The
we've
fact that
been.
the 500 fucking people decided that these guys are cool enough to
594.
listen to. Like
Almost 600.
almost 600.
Yeah. So let's take a second. I just want to say, like, thank you. I know this is cheesy, but thank you guys for everybody who's subscribed and watched and everything else, because like it truly does like mean the world to us. Because we just want to be part of the community. We saw a lot of people out there doing dumbass shit, and we're just like, yeah, let's fucking throw our retarded shit.
Yeah,
in
let's
here.
throw our retarded coins into this fucking pile.
Yeah, let's
The
have fun
biggest
with this.
thing was you got big name people out there who are putting out freaking
way
inaccurate
better,
information.
way professionally edited, and
Yeah, they're putting out way professionally edited things, but with inaccurate information
yeah.
or meme information, shit that they saw on.
Hi guys, do you want me to tell you? You guys
Yeah,
want me to join your
there was a brief
podcast?
thing, and we never published full beef episodes. Let's go over this really quick. We don't, or at the very least, me and you specifically don't like West Hammer. I'm pretty sure you don't, but I don't want to speak for you.
I don't really care for that guy.
Yeah, you don't really care. And it's not because like, hey, like 90% is correct and everything else. And it's first off a frustration with just the entire the TikTokiness of the content. And that's just a personal gripe. So
Is-
that's issue. But
Is
also
he good for getting new guys in? Yes.
Yeah.
He 100% is. I'll admit that whenever I first got into Warhammer, West Hammer was where I started. The thing that gets me about West Hammer is the whiny voice. I can't stand whenever all the videos sound like this, and then they just keep going like this. Well, if you keep going with the video
He
like
sounds
this,
like a really overly enthusiastic first day on the job gay substitute teacher. And it quite frankly it grates me.
yes,
Yeah. But one of the big things for me right now is also because like there's been parts of that he's published and stuff like that where it has been like meme information or like misinformation, and that's kind of just irked me. Like the entire whenever he's talking about I'll just see if I can find the video, maybe I'll splice that in or some shit. But he talks about like corpse starch, and he's like, oh, and in the video he's like the entire Imperium runs off corpse starch and everybody's eating corpse starch. When corpse starch is mainly relegated to like massive hives like Necromunda. It's not an average, it's not the staple food of the Imperium. It exists, it's fucking terrifying, but also it's
Orcologic.
not the staple food of the Imperium. It mainly only exists in fucking hive cities from everything we've seen. The orc power of belief is a big one. That is my big axe to grind.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's between Orc Logic and fucking Beast of Nurgle.
Yeah,
Did you know that the Beast of Nurgle is just a big puppy dog and he just wants hugs?
did you know that did you know that the animal that would eat you but you eat it, that is technically it's just doing, I don't know, it's just the semantics of like, did you know that it's just trying to have fun, and like, yeah, it's having fun by ragdolling my fucking body. That doesn't mean I'm going to give it sympathy, but that's more of a lesser complaint. But
Yeah,
it's the small stuff that stacks up.
Is it true? Yes, but with the Beast of Nurgle is the one thing. It's true, but he plays too much off of the you should feel sorry for it because it's just a puppy dog that wants to play and not this big
it's
fucking abomination
the
that's
average,
ragdolling you.
the consistent comparison of it's just a puppy dog is the fucking that you see in every like Reddit headline,
Yeah.
that type of shit. where
Oh
it's
my
like,
god, he was just a puppy dog. Meanwhile, it's a fucking fully grown, like
Yeah.
50-pound fucking pit bull that's been trained for
you know what,
fighting
I'm
and
sure
ripped
the
a 3-year-old's arm off.
The T-Rex in Jurassic Park would love to fucking toss me around like a rag doll and then eat me, and then he'll probably be sad when I'm fucking gone because he can't ragdoll me anymore.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him a puppy,
Yeah.
It's like I see where he's coming from, but also like it just irks. You can agree or disagree, but that's personal take. Yeah.
All in all, outside of this channel, for lore wise, I would recommend, because this is where I got started, was with Luton 09.
Yeah, Luton 100%.
Luton 100%. That guy does his fucking research, and the information that he gives you is usually pretty fucking spot on.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know anything, he'll tell you like, I couldn't find this or anything, but here's something that kind of alludes to what they're talking about.
Yeah, if it's lore, I go to Luton. If it's
Yeah.
fucking tactics or codex or any kind of like relative news, Auspex.
Yeah, I mean, I will say there's always the case of we're not trying to be the guys to be like, oh, he got lore wrong, because I'm sure I think there has been like 1 or 2 times where like we accidentally got some lore wrong or something in one of our videos. But also, we're trying to do our best to make sure that if we get something wrong, we're saying that in the comments or putting in the description and being like, hey guys, by the way, we're putting up notices because we don't want to feed you guys any bad info.
I'm not
And
gonna
if we
put up.
do,
We're
just
not gonna
fucking
put
call
up
us out in the
clickbait,
comments.
and then when you say we're wrong, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, and
Yeah.
then put up more clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're still gonna put up
So,
clickbait because
It's like
obviously we're a
if we make a
fucking YouTube
video
channel.
that's entirely fucking incorrect, and then somebody said like, hey, that's really fucking wrong. By the way, here's the source and stuff like that. We're not then going to go and publish the video to all our other media platforms. Follow us on TikTok and whatever the fuck else we got.
Yeah. Another two channels that are really good too, I just thought about them right now, is the Remembrancer,
Yes,
and Vox in the Void.
yes, very good.
Yes. Especially if you want to hear some like voice acting, Vox in the Void. Fuck, dude,
Yeah.
like he will give you goosebumps with some of the shit that he fucking reads.
Mhm.
It's awesome shit.
Yes. So we want to be positive towards like all the 40K community as a whole, but there's a few guys where it's just kind of like it's kind of rubbing the wrong way. So we'll say what's on our mind.
I'm gonna say what's on my mind. Oh, we're gonna say what's on our mind, regardless.
Okay, so before we wrap up, we got a couple announcements. So the first thing going forward as the editor here, there's obviously been some stuff like the turnaround time on videos, and also I'm relatively in the foreseeable future going to have a life change that's going to make it harder to do more editing of videos. So future videos may have less like editing and pop-ups and stuff like that. It's going to be a bit more like freeform like this.
You getting a sex change?
Hello, yes. My
Step
name
Bro's
is
becoming Step Sis.
My name is, no. Maybe no. It's looking right now that it's going to be later this year. I'm going back up to college and I'll be on campus with that.
Oh,
so
shit,
yeah. So
okay.
obviously that'll be
Yeah.
master's degree. That's going to be a lot of.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not looking forward to it.
God damn it! I'm gonna be putting out episodes by my fucking self.
We'll be working something out, and that leads to the second thing is that we're speaking of life changes. We think something else is popping up.
Yeah. So with my work schedule, I just got a new position at work.
Yay! Wait, no.
My days off are no longer going to coincide with us being able to record. So for at least the foreseeable future, it'll just be Step Bro and Groot doing podcasts. Who knows? I may take a day off and hop in there and jump in on the podcast too and stuff like that. But at least for now, for the foreseeable future,
You fucking better.
It's just gonna be these two.
Goddamn. You just gave the show to the autistic department.
Anyways, time to redo the World Eaters episode.
All right, so anywho,
I'll come back for the World Eaters.
All right,
World Eaters episode.
all right. Corn's not here to keep.
We're talking shit.
Corn's not here to keep us in check. Well, wait for the next episode. Groot goes on a 1-hour rant about Westhammer.
Oh god. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just want to put out like a little recap for the entirety of season 1 onto season 2 and the guard regiments.
The guard regiments. Next we'll become. Oh, I guess we'll. So the way we're gonna do this, we'll start out with the poster boys.
Yeah.
Next is gonna be Cadia. From there, we'll kind of do what we did with Astartes in some kind of order. The order we're probably going to do is lore relevance. We'll probably get the bigger ones out of the way first, or we may mix them up. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Very true. Okay. So, anybody got any final stuff?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
I think we've covered pretty much everything
Okay.
there.
Once
So,
again, we
until
love y'all
we-
for listening. Stay tuned for season 2.
And fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.